Welcome to Jurassic Park, and Japan time starts right now.
What is going on, everybody? Rogers Base here, and
Did the
welcome
intro
to
even
the
play?
Time Podcast for October 28th, 2024. I'm your host, as always, Roger the Hedgehog, and I'm joined by Shofu the Hedgehog. What's going on, Shofu? Yeah.
I'm not a fucking hedgehog, man.
That's right, I forgot. You're Shofu the Rabbit. We're
I'm not a
also
rabbit.
joined by Ricky Cocaine, Ricky the Echidna. What's up, Ricky?
That feels racially charged.
Yeah, that feels racially coded. Yeah.
How is that racially coded?
Yeah,
to say
I
he's
wasn't
an
even
echidna?
really thinking about that. Why did you pick the echidna, though?
Because you like Knuckles.
Why
We
not?
literally would play Project M and you would play Knuckles. Am I lying? Did we not play Project M in college?
Ricky, don't touch anything I've worked on ever again.
Why?
Okay.
Yo,
The other voice you're hearing right now, the other voice you're hearing right now is it's War Champ the Bee. What's up, War Champ? How are you?
No.
You're War Champ the Bee. You're
the
a worker
bee?
bee. Yeah, you're a worker bee. You're
There's
Charmy,
no
man.
way you made me Charmy. There's no way.
You're Charmy the Bee.
There's
Absolutely.
no fucking shot.
110% you're Charmy the Bee.
Ricky, you're
man.
forgiven. Roger's
Can I
bottom of
be
the
a
totem pole now.
wolf? Or a
Yeah,
kitty
sure. We
cat?
got Aru the Wolf here as well. What's up, Aru?
Hi.
Or actually,
is
what's
that how
the
you
name of the-
howl? What the fuck?
And then we got Tito the Armadillo. What's up, Tito?
What?
That's
Are you
racially
fat? Are
charged.
you fat shaming me?
Not at all. What the
What are
heck?
you doing,
I just-
bro?
You are
I
fat
gave a
shaming.
kidna. I
You
gave a
are.
kidna to
You're
Ricky
fat
already.
shaming me, bro.
Mighty's a cool
Armadillo's
To
character.
say the Armadillo, Mighty's cool.
He's talking about how he said I'm rotund, bro. He said
Yeah,
I'm
he
round
said
as
he's
hell.
round.
Right. And I don't appreciate that, Rogers base.
Fine. All right, fine. You could be Tito the Flying Squirrel then. You want to be Tito the Flying Squirrel? Is that better?
That is
has
better.
to be
Thank you.
Mighty or Ray.
Yes.
I don't even know who that is. What's that green thing that like the green thing in the fighters game that like kicks and shit? It's like a
Bean?
duck, but it's not.
You want to be Bean?
He's on the team with the crocodile, I think.
No, that's SBO.
Yeah, that whatever that thing is.
He's a chameleon.
Chameleon?
Wait, what?
But he's SPO's chameleon, but he's purple.
If you're
Nah, I'll just be the cat.
you want purple or green guy?
Okay, Tito the cat.
Oh, so you want big?
Yeah.
So big would be fat shaming if I said big.
Nah, not if I say it though.
That's true.
All right,
not
fine.
true.
We got McDarrett the polar bear. What's up, McDarrett?
Polar bear, bro. So there's a very easy thing you could have pictured me
Tails
based
is
on my
right there.
first name.
What would I have chosen? What,
You know what
Tails?
Tails'
I'm
actual
not
name
doing
is?
that.
Do you know what Tails'
Tails is
actual
cool
name is?
though. I'm
Do you
giving
know
you
what
a
his
polar bear
Do
instead.
you know what his actual name is?
Technically, polar bears are cool.
Miles. I know his name is
I
Miles.
see what you did
What
there,
are you-
Jeff.
what are you-
Yeah.
Of course.
So you
why
could
would I
have
go with the obvious choice of Miles?
Then why the hell am
Why
I a
would I
polar
not-
bear? Of
Because
all
I
the
feel
of
like
all
it
the
is
Sonic
why.
animals.
Because I host the
of
show.
all of
You want me to
them.
delete the channel?
Of
I'll
all
delete
of
the
them.
channel right now.
Here we go again.
Are you McDarrett the polar bear? I'll delete it.
Stop crossing him.
See, this is
You
why we
can't,
can't,
dude.
this is why we can't have everyone for a show.
Because it's fun. Things get out of hand. But you know what? Things never get out of hand with Viram the chameleon. What's up, Viram?
Oh, cool. I get to be the chameleon. I feel that fits me very well. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
I
Roger.
feel like that's better.
Absolutely.
That's better.
You're
yeah.
welcome. Well, because I feel like what's the most gentlemanly of any of his friends? I feel like SBO is kind of gentlemanly. He's got the cool poses. He could morph into any situation, you know.
And he's a
And
killer.
I'm
cool
very
guy.
adaptable to the environment. So
And
You're
then-
saying he's
and then-
fake. Is that what you're saying?
Not at all. No, I'm
That's
saying
crazy.
he's
Don't
cool.
talk about my friend like that.
No. Now, what's Fang's official title?
If you're going,
I think it's
Fang
it's
the hunter now.
Yeah, it's Fang the Hunter.
Zeph the Hunter.
These-
Then I like that. Zeph
What
the
the
Hunter.
fuck? I'm not even an animal.
Well,
I mean,
I feel like
he's,
you know your way around Pirate Bay. You know your way around like
He's
doing
an
illegal
yeah, he's
activities.
a
I feel like Fang would be a
Jerboa.
good choice for you.
No, Zeph's like Metal Sonic, because he's like the #1 Sonic hater.
I don't think Zeph's the #1 Sonic hater. He
No, I
played
am.
Sonic in Shadow
I am.
Generations.
I am.
I honestly
Yeah,
don't even.
I
think
don't. I
you
don't
are.
want to hate Sonic. It just happens.
Yeah,
I want to.
you're just programmed that way. The game's programmed that way.
All right, so now I need any artist that's listening back to this on YouTube to draw all of those.
Yeah.
Then to draw me and Shofu
Do
as
not make me
hedgehogs.
charmy.
Ricky
Do not
is
make me
a-
charmy.
No,
Full of God.
Warchamp
You know
has
how
to be
cursed that
charming.
would
Give me Vector
That
or
is the
something.
best.
Give me Vector or
Absolute-
something.
No, you're not Vector. You're charming. And McDareth is absolutely
Yes,
Bart the
Wisdom
Polar Bear,
doodling
without
right
a
now
shadow
as
of
we
a doubt.
speak, yeah.
No.
You draw me as
Furry
charming,
time
I become
podcast.
Warchamp the Hunter.
Okay, fine. McDareth, if you don't want to be the polar bear and you're not going to be Tails, you're going to be the weasel. You're going to be, what's the weasel's name?
There is no weasel.
That's fine.
then you're a polar bear, bro.
Fang is a
That's it.
Jerboa. He's not
You're
a
polar
weasel.
bear. It's not. You're a
What
polar
the
bear.
fuck is a
His name was
Jerboa?
Mac the
Yeah,
Weasel, though.
you made that up.
Mac the
not
Weasel
a
was
real
only
animal.
named
He's
that
Eggman for
in
real.
America. It was supposed to be a
You could
Jerboa,
be-
and
you
he's
could
been
be
changed back
McDareth
to
the
a
Bat.
Jerboa.
He could be Eggman for
Why
real.
did it be a bat?
I don't know. Because you're, well, you know.
There's so many better animals. You're
Is that
picking
No,
Indian
but
the
it's
guy
like
wrong
with
movie
ones.
Sonic
canon?
characters and stuff, and you know.
Is that Indian guy in the movie canon?
Indian guy in the
What are you
what?
talking
What are you
about?
talking
Like his
about?
little, like his assistant.
Oh,
Oh.
Eggman's assistant.
No,
Yeah.
no, Agent Stone. No, he's not.
No, because normally Eggman has like robot henchmen.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
If he has anyone that like talks to him, it's like your ideas are great, sir.
What are we making Fidel? He's the only one that's not here yet.
And
He's
he
still
has
playing
to be a
Mario
Invisible.
Party.
hedgehog.
Invisible.
I guess yeah, we'll make him a hedgehog too. He could be silver.
No, he can be charmy.
It would make sense for him
he's
to
not-
be the
you're
hedgehog.
charming.
Can he,
bro.
can he,
Just
can
get
he be like a
over it. You're
shitty chow?
charming.
Like just like what like a
You can't
like,
change Roger's mind. He's gonna destroy
Fidel
YouTube.
should be big.
No,
But
no,
I
Tito.
want to be big.
Big the cat?
Oh, never mind. Never mind. Take it back then.
I thought you're the armadillo. You're mighty. Why do you
Again.
want to be mighty? It's not a slight. I promise
Look,
you. I'm
I
not
knew what you
fat-shaming
meant.
I'll
We
be
all knew what
mighty.
you meant. We all knew what you meant.
Mighty is cool. I literally play as Mighty in Sonic
Yeah,
Mania
Mighty
Plus.
is-
Oh, I know.
actual
We should make
cool.
He's
Fidel like
cool,
a
dude.
chow. Can Fidel be like a chow? Or like what about
I like
those animals?
somebody should be a chow. I like.
What
I'll
about
be
those regular
mighty.
ass
I will
what about those regular
literally-
ass animals who are like in the robots and shit that don't matter?
Any character other than
Bucky or
charmy.
whatever. You're charming. Stop saying
Roger,
it's not
Roger
gonna change,
won't let
bro.
you escape.
You're charming. That's
I
the
haven't
one
even
that's
tried to
locked in.
fight the-
I'm willing to hear other people. I'm not going to hear you out. You are charming. And
I'm giving you the chance to pick something worse than charmy. I will take anything. I get.
Charmy is great.
Okay, so
Why
you,
are you? It's not.
so you admit it.
No,
so
what
why
I'm
do you choose
saying
to
is
You
that
did
I
admit
don't
it.
know. I'm not saying that Charmy's the worst. I like Charmy. He's
You
a
just
bee.
said
He's a
it.
honeybee.
But you just said
Ricky,
it. You just
go
admitted
back to
it.
season 1. Ricky knows the honey, the gambling. I like Charmy, man. Charmy's a cool guy.
Cream, all of that. Yeah.
Charmy's cool. But I think because you are so against it, now you have to be Charmy the Bee.
Oh wait,
You're
Adam
Warchamp
isn't
the
here.
Bee.
What's he?
Oh, what would
Ooh, maybe.
He should actually be the polar
Coast?
bear.
Wait,
Coast?
wait.
No.
No,
What are you
Coast-
saying?
Coast
He's
be like
fat?
that crocodile
What are
guy?
you doing?
That
What are you
crocodile guy's
saying?
cool.
Vector.
That's not Vector.
Oh yeah, he could be Vector. Coast could be Vector. That's cool.
Yeah, the crocodile guy's
And
cool.
then actually, you know what? If someone's drawing this, they could draw Vector, but you know how Vector has like the bling? It could say, "What's up, Nintendo gamers?" That's actually kind of cute. I like that. All right, Coast can be Vector the crocodile. I like that.
I still feel like Ricky being Knuckles is racially charged, but we'll let that go.
I think Ricky. Well, okay, Ricky. What else would you want to be? Actually, you know what? Hold on. I thought of something. Let me cook on this for a second. McDareth, you
Please
might get your
don't.
way.
Please. Okay,
Because
what are you doing?
you sell cocaine, right? And cocaine is white as snow, and you roll around in snow.
You want him to be
can
the
polar
fucking-
bear. And I
Oh,
can
I thought
make,
you were
we
gonna
can
say
make
silver.
McDareth. No. I'm saying
Thematically,
you
that
could
tracks.
be. You could be a polar bear. You could be Bark the polar bear, and McDareth instead of you could be. What's the hawk? The hawk from Sonic Riders.
Jets. Oh my.
You're Jet. You're Jet the Hawk. You're Jet the Hawk. There you go.
You're the bird god.
It's
What's
a
wrong
meme.
with that?
That
Jet
actually
the Hawk is
works.
cool. That actually works well.
It's,
I take it back.
better. It's better
Ricky
than
is the polar bear.
Have we
Jet
spent
the Hawk.
20
take
minutes
it.
of the show talking about Sonic OCs?
Who cares? It's fun. It's a
All
good
right.
opening.
I feel
It's
like we
certainly
should also,
It's better
like,
than the
if
other
this-
openings with the pizza, bro. This is
If this-
significantly better.
If this
You
gets
do
drawn,
You were.
I feel like
You were.
if this
fucking
gets
shit
drawn,
that
I
pizza.
feel like
was
it should go as a poster. I
Oh, I
think
agree. We could sell it as like a special thing. Put it on
it
the
would be
Spiff
hilarious.
website.
You were fucking.
By the way,
shit
how
that
much
poster.
money have we made off Spiff so far, McDareth?
What's
the exact number?
definitely no. Anyway,
A couple thousand, right?
speaking
Minimum.
of
It's
Spiff,
gotta be.
you could go to spiff.space/Japan time and catch you a hoodie that you see in this picture, even though I've been made demonic for some reason.
No, this is unedited.
Roger, this was a great thumbnail. I love this.
Wasn't it good? I'm glad you
That's
enjoyed it.
Yeah, literally, Shadow
Yeah.
was in the back.
That's when you.
Yeah.
I know. I put Shadow in the back. I made sure to add the Gaussian blur.
No, you didn't put him there. He was
Oh,
in the
he was
picture.
already there. That's
And
true. He
Trudell
was
came
already
all
in
the way
picture.
from Canada to pose in the background.
That's right. He's behind your Mustang. How'd you get that car, by the way?
Huh? I've had that car
That's
since
the
I was
least
16.
believable thing about the picture, to be honest. The fact that he came all the way to visit you.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's
Shout out
Sonic
to
Generations and just bringing people together.
That's right. That's
But yes,
right.
That
But
is my first car, Roger. I had the car since I was 16.
that's your first car?
Yes.
Wow. It's a nice car. You've taken good care of it.
Yes, I love that car.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have a lot to go over, people, and we are going to obviously table the Sonic talk for a little bit until Fidel gets here. But there's a lot of other stuff to talk about. We've got Mario Party, we've got Metaphor, we've got Banjo-Tooie, we got Rivals 2, we got Sakurai's final video on YouTube, we've got the NSO playtest to go over. There's so much information to dive into. Where do you guys even want to start? Should we start with Rivals 2? I feel like because we are a Smash Brothers podcast initially, that might be the best place to start.
Sure.
I think it makes sense.
So Rivals, who's been playing it?
Yeah,
How are you guys feeling about
I've
it?
been playing it
Let's
a
go.
lot. My Force Burn is level 160 something. So I've been
what the
playing a lot.
fuck?
He's level 160. Everyone else is level 0. I haven't touched anyone else. But I mean, I touched them in
left?
the alphas. It was alright. But yeah, the game is amazing. It's very good. It's definitely made for people who are already into Smash. Like, you're not gonna get probably that many new people into it right now because like the learning curve is really high. But it's a super fun game.
It
Like,
needs like a tutorial, like
Yeah.
a solid.
Yeah.
But
That
it's
was you mentioned that about the tutorial. That was actually something I saw you tweet and I wanted to bring up on the show. Was you talking about, specifically I'm talking to Zeph here, with you mentioning that you feel like platform fighters are never going to blow up in the way certain fighting games will because of the barrier to entry? And I was just curious, like, if you wanted to talk on that a little bit. 'Cause I
yeah,
thought
it's
that was
just crazy
interesting.
now.
Yeah.
Like when I was when I would go to like Melee locals and stuff, everyone, like, there is a clear gap between like a local person I know and then like a top player, right? Now the line is so blurred for Melee, it's insane. Like, average players do some of the craziest shit. It's all because of like Slippy and the pandemic. It just brought a lot of people in, and they could just constantly play forever. So it's just there's no room for casual growth on unless you know someone that plays.
Yeah. Like, you can go online and fight a random person, and maybe they don't make good decisions in the match. So you can still just, it's not that difficult, but their movement is crazy. So, like, that makes it harder instantly because trying to actually connect things with them is harder because they have really good movement, but maybe they're not really playing their character well or whatever. And that's, like, in every single rank. So it's, like, if you're just trying to learn or just trying to play casually, it's kind of hard. It's most likely you're going to run into someone who's just either good at the game, good at moving in the game, or understands the characters to a much higher degree for a game that just released. So it's like, it's kind of daunting if you don't have like Rivals 1 experience or a lot of Smash experience to really get into this game.
Yeah.
So who
it's
currently
like,
is like the top of the tier list? Who are the people everyone's playing as?
I think it's the
Well,
Frog. And
You've asked 2 different questions
Oh, they're
because
two-
they're not the same.
Oh, okay. Then
I don't
please,
think so,
by
at
all
least.
means.
I think as Zeph can attest, there's a lot of people playing like Orcane and Rano right now. But I think I would say that the best character in the game is probably Raster.
Yeah, he's really good. He's just kind of hard compared to the other top tiers.
Where does the elephant?
He's ass.
Who?
Yeah.
The Lux. It starts with-
Loxodon? Yeah. That's the other thing too, is that like Lox is definitely towards the bottom, but
it doesn't matter in this.
Doesn't
game.
matter
Like,
as
every
much, yeah.
character is so good that the lines in the tier list are like they don't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not really about who you play. Is it just in terms of character wise, but who you play in terms of like?
Well, right
person
now
online?
there are like clearly strong characters, like way stronger than other characters. So that can help.
You can still do something, but it's gonna be harder. Like I play Forsburn because I like Forsburn and made them in the first game, and it's an uphill battle. But you could do like Forsburn is not bad. It's just you have to
there's
work.
there's no 90-10 matchups like Melee.
No. Yeah, like bad
the game
characters
is
are still
relatively
completely
balanced.
It's like 60-40 at worst most of the
pretty
time.
good.
Yeah, it's only 10 characters. If there was a 90-20, we have an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that also makes the game sometimes very frustrating because every character is super good, which means they have a lot of bullshit.
Hmm.
And yeah.
Okay.
It
So
also
then
seems
how-
like the kind
how
of
would
game where you need to have a lot of knowledge for every
Yes.
character to be able to deal with them effectively. And like you can't just have a generalized game plan and just win, which is kind of what you could do in a lot of older games and just a lot of games with worse balance. The stronger characters can just bulldoze with a layer 1 game plan, but at a glance, this game requires a lot of knowledge and finesse,
Yeah,
which is
and I
both
think
good and
that's-
bad.
Yeah, knowledge like checks are not a bad thing, but without resources to learn those things, it is kind of a problem. Which is like why I kind of
because all
agree
the
with Zeph.
resources are out of the game.
Yeah,
which
which isn't like uncommon, but like for some of like the core mechanics of the game to just not be explained anywhere,
like
it's kind of
parrying.
it's a big deal in something like Rivals. Just because of the number of system mechanics, the number of things that are different from Smash that are like kind of the same idea but work a little bit differently, like just the differences in SDI and like auto SDI and stuff like that. It's and not having that information taught to you is a problem. And like Rivals 1 had a fantastic tutorial, like probably better than any tutorial any platform fighter has had. So
Is there a reason they got rid of it?
I just don't think it's been done for Rivals 2.
It wasn't a priority.
If you play the Rivals 1 tutorial, most of it carries over. It just
Yeah.
is missing new stuff.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's coming eventually because like they already have a fantastic foundation that they can just like literally copy and it'll do most of the work for them.
Copy paste the tutorial and add the like 5 new universal things.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the biggest thing with Rivals that is like makes it hard to learn and is also kind of the biggest reason they need like in-game resources for stuff. Like every character is extremely unique and has like their own kind of gimmick or like mechanic that's unique to them, and you need to know that to be able to play as that character or against that character.
Yeah.
And some are more obvious than others. Like Claren having a tipper, it's very obvious what her mechanic is. She hits you with the tip of your sword, like you're in hit stun for a lot longer, and she gets follow-ups that she wouldn't otherwise. Great, easy. But then you have stuff like Raster Slipstream or like Forsburn Smoke, and like unless you play against him enough times or mess around with him in training, you're gonna have no idea what that stuff does.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the smoke. It doesn't do anything.
Or like how his clone works.
Yeah, that is actually big because a lot of people like don't realize that like regular clone doesn't do
Now he
anything.
can like pick the clone
Yes,
off and get
I
it
I literally played Rivals 1, and I found out like 2 days ago that his clone does not attack if he's not charged up.
Yep. Because that used to be like Rivals Alpha. His clone used to just attack, but now it doesn't attack unless you charge and use super clone.
So it's just a decoy otherwise?
Yes.
It's a decoy. He can press down B to make it blow up, but it'll run after you unless he holds the B button. Then it'll try to run away from you. But it's like, it's very. But the real thing is, you literally hit him or hit clone, it goes away.
Is it holding B or is it pressing side B alternates it? Because I felt like in training it seemed like
just
it.
press B once. You just press B. You don't have to hold it down.
Oh, he's
No,
Hey.
You press it and he runs towards him. You press it again, he runs towards you instead.
yeah.
Okay.
So like it
Just
switches. It's
use
not
the
like you
toggle?
hold. Yeah, it is a toggle. That's what I was
Okay.
asking.
See, I play him. I didn't even know that, but I also don't.
Yeah, because that's
really
what it seemed
care
like.
about Clone
And
that.
I think a lot of people right now are saying Forsburn is the worst character in the game.
Yes.
That's what
and-
I've been seeing, but he's still
and-
like so strong.
Yeah, and like we were saying before, like the worst character in this game is still viable and still very good. But I also played a Forsburn 1 or 2 nights ago that was good at the character to a degree that I actually started like thinking differently about that.
Yeah,
they were-
like there's no way. But it's also like it's so early, and like I said, all the characters are so close together in strength. It's so hard to determine who's what right now. Like I think Maple's busted. That's why I'm playing her.
Yeah, I think Maple's also really good. So the thing about Forsburn, even with like a really good player on him, is the biggest thing he has that's like a step up for him than everyone else is Combust. But Combust is you need to commit to get Combust compared to other characters that just have their big thing whenever. That's the way I feel, because like a lot of stuff is like, oh, he can do a bunch of hitfall combos. Everyone can do that in this game. So it's like his big thing is Combust, which he has to commit for, and if he gets put in disadvantage, he basically has to give it up and then has to spend the time to recommit. So either he needs to just camp you and run away and just charge it, or he just won't have it.
See, I don't even think that's the most valuable tool in his kit, which is what like that player that I played against a couple nights ended up showing me was like their kind of control over the clone is not something I've seen in like any Forsburn player ever. And I think once more people kind of learn the character and start understanding that, they're going to be able to take advantage of that as well. And we're going to see a lot of people's opinions change on the character. Because the Forsburn I was playing, every single time he like used the clone and it was out, whether it was like a ledge get up or just like in neutral or whatever, every single time when I tried to go hit him, I hit the clone. Like I guessed wrong every time. So he was moving around in a way that made it unclear which one was which every time. And being able to do that,
one
like,
that kind of did that to me.
Like I felt like I got my ankles broken. Like I got mixed incredibly hard.
I guess I also play the character, so I just know that the clone is just not a threat. You literally could just breathe on it; it goes away.
Also, like that's another thing is Maple very clearly. You usually have that indicator on your opponent, so the one that's marked obviously is the real.
Oh yeah, you'll know the real one because you can't get rid of that. So I think the biggest thing that I don't do for Forsburn with clone stuff is, and I've played other Forsburns who do this, it doesn't, I don't know, didn't do anything to me most of the time. So it doesn't, I mean, I think it's useful. I think it's kind of gimmicky, but like summoning clone when you're recovering, because the clone will up B on stage. Like the only attack it will do is it will up B. So if you summon it when you have to up B, it'll up B on stage, and then they have to deal with that, and then you go to ledge. But you could also still time attack to still hit him on ledge and not have to worry about the clone, because the clone will always up B normally after he does, unless they are really waiting. That's probably a little too specific, but I do think he has some stuff. It's just, to me, I just don't value clone that highly, because as what it is, which is basically just a projectile, it's very easy to deal with. To me, it doesn't do that much, since literally it won't do anything unless you press down B. But it can lead to stuff if you get good at doing that. So I don't think it's awful. I just think when you compare that to what other characters get, it's not as good, which is kind of the issue he has.
This is totally irrelevant, but they announced Shadow Man and Turok 2 for NSO.
Just now?
Yeah.
Shadow Man.
Yeah.
Of all the is that for the N64 mature app or whatever?
Yeah.
They are doing everything possible to not do Conker's Bad Fur Day. That's just crazy.
Yeah, like
that's
Shadow
like the
Man?
one game. Shadow Man? I understand they just added Banjo-Tooie, but Shadow Man is like
they're
not
doing
something I
everything to
expected
delay
see.
the cool games for their next console is what they're doing.
Well, I still feel like because they've added Banjo-Tooie on NSO now, I do think DK64 and Diddy Kong Racing are coming. But that is super weird that they would add Shadow Man before adding Conker.
Shadow Man's fucking crazy.
Because what is that game even about?
I don't know. Shadow Man.
It's about Shadow Man. Okay. Well, while we are still on the topic of platform fighters, there is actually something that I want to bring up. Shofu, I don't know if you saw what I just DM'd you, but this was brought to my attention, and people were like, you need to do a live reaction on Japan Time to it. So basically, there is a fan-made trailer for a Skull Kid in Smash Brothers reveal that is apparently incredibly well done. And so here's
I haven't
the link.
watched this yet.
Oh, well, good. We're doing a group reaction then. This is going to be good. So it's called Skull Kid Clocks In, and it is a 4-minute reveal trailer for Skull Kid that was done by this guy King Bob, who I guess is like known as a modder within the community. He did Bandanity and a couple other characters, but apparently the trailer is really cool. So we're going to pull it up, do a live reaction. Oh, perfect. All right, well, I'll hop in Shofu's little stream so we're synced. And yeah, let's check this out. Skull Kid reveal trailer, Super Smash Brothers. Let's see what this is all about.
Oh, I thought this was gonna be ugly.
No, it's pretty cool.
Oh, it looks really nice already. Oh my gosh.
I always thought Skull Kid would be a cool character to put in.
Did Horsemel work on this, Viram?
He works on something else ages ago.
Yeah.
There was a specific like Majora's Mask fan animation that he worked on.
Oh, I know
somebody
totally the one
didn't
you're talking
play?
about.
Yeah. It was for Theophany's album.
Right.
That Peach model's not the ultimate model, is it?
No.
What the hell?
I don't know what's going on with that Peach.
They have the ultimate models for everyone else.
Yeah, they could have just used it.
Let's rock and roll.
As someone who didn't play Majora's Mask, was Fox and Captain Falcon in the original?
Yeah.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said
This scene right here is the ending of the game.
this is actually taken
Okay. I was just
right.
wondering. It seems lore accurate, but I wasn't.
No, it's real.
I mean, the
Okay.
R-Wing is in Ocarina of Time.
That's true. Actually, it is. It is in the debug menu, right? Where they were
Yeah,
testing
the
C
moon's
targeting
about to
with it?
like hit Link, like right here, but then James McLeod shows up and starts shooting it.
That is what
Strange
happens in the
direction
original
that
game.
Nintendo
That's
went
right.
in. Okay, I gotta play.
To be fair, Majora's Mask is a very good Zelda game. And very different. But the original, not the 3DS one. The original N64 one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a mod for the 3DS one that's very good.
Does it make it like darker and cool again?
Yeah, it also makes the mechanics good.
Nice. This
This
is
is
a really
crazy.
well done trailer. I was gonna say, yeah, man,
That's what I was about to
worked
say.
on this is like insane.
Insane.
Poor little Isabel. Closing her eyes, waiting to die.
Any shot we ever get him in Smash, bro?
For sure.
I mean, if we
There's
get
a
him,
shot- there's always a.
yeah, if we get a Majora's Mask update one day, like an HD version or something, I could see them.
That's
putting
crazy.
him- Turn him into a Deku Scrub. It's cool, actually.
Ultimate mods are so crazy now.
Yeah.
The mod movesets are incredible. There's so many.
I mean, this looks like a full-on new character. I'm assuming that's taken from Mewtwo's, but
Oh, he got Bowser.
Isabel seems like the main character of this, so.
having to run around. Poor little Mega Man. They should have Mega Man explode though.
Yeah, that would have been funny. Is she gonna pocket the moon?
That would be super funny. Can she pocket the moon in Ultimate? You summon the assist trophy?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit, he's still here. Bro, is it Tingle?
Huh?
Oh.
What in the world?
See,
What
here.
in the world?
This is cool, actually. Wait, what the heck?
Wow. I guess this is based off that one rupee game he has.
Yeah, Tingle's Rupee Land. That was good, man. Well done.
That was awesome.
That was made by Uncle Bob.
King
Is
Bob.
that the name of the channel? Young Bob, Uncle Bob. Good
King Bob.
work, King Bob. Thank you very much. I was
King
calling him
Bob
everything
Bob.
other than King. King Bob. Well done. That was a very cool trailer, man. I'm glad we watched that. Moving on though, because we do have a lot of stuff to still discuss. Let me hop on back to the podcast room real quick. We talked a little bit about Rivals. I actually kind of want to jump ahead and talk about Metaphor while people are here who've actually played it. So, Zeph, you're in September, you said?
Yeah, I'm playing it
Tito,
right now.
you've been playing it concurrently with Persona. And Viram, I know you've been loving it. So there's at least three of you
I'm a
who've been
little
playing it
behind
regularly.
Zeph, so I'm pretty close to where he is.
So how's everybody feeling on it now that you've had it time to let it sort of germinate for a couple weeks?
I think it's my current game of the year.
Wow. Okay.
Huge claim.
Yeah, I really like this game.
It's very good. I just
making it-
do wish it stuck to its original vision.
What was the original vision?
It was way more fantasy. The main character was like a beta version of Hulkenberg. Do you remember that? There's art of it and stuff.
I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was way more
character was
like
really cool as
fantasy. But at some point, they clearly said, nope, back to the basics. It's still
Was
good.
this like the first trailer that we ever saw of it, or was it?
I think it was just. I don't know what it was.
Just
but
artwork?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think Zeph posted it earlier like a couple
I'll
of
look
days
for
ago
it,
or
yeah.
the other day.
But yeah,
Yeah,
so let us know. I'm curious because that's a huge claim. This is your favorite game of the year. You think?
Yeah,
This is currently
I
your
think-
game of the year pick.
So what it has been for me. So the other two candidates for reference were Astrobot and FF7 Rebirth.
Rebirth, sure.
And
Okay,
for me, this game has been like playing through Persona 5 in a lot of ways for me. And I obviously I love that game, but I think I really like the setting a lot more. I like the core cast a lot. I think that there aren't any weak links among the cast. The gameplay is really engaging and very varied. I just like the whole kind of scope of a lot of things as well. Like you'll realize that you're not just restricted to Grand Trad. There's quite a lot of places in the game, and you're kind of going towards a lot of different locations, and I think it helps create a lot of color and variety in the world.
Here's some pictures.
Or are these from the beta?
I'm sure there's
Oh yeah,
more.
that does look totally different.
What it's worth as well, I still think incredibly highly of Astrobot and Rebirth, but I think for me the highs of this game have been like higher than Astrobot. Astrobot was an incredibly excellent, consistent experience, and Rebirth probably still has higher highs, but I think Rebirth also suffers from feeling exhausting at points, and I haven't felt that sense of exhaustion from this game yet.
That's actually really interesting you say that, because I also am really enjoying what I've played of it, but I find myself regularly exhausted by the story in this one, whereas I not to say it's not interesting. Like I like the characters.
It's a lot. The
but it's a
beginning
lot,
is like really
right.
political.
And to the point where I'm like, I have to sort of take a break and play kind of at my own pace. Like I think a lot of the time when I'm playing games, especially, we're content creators, we do things on stream. There's part of me that like wishes I was streaming this, but at the same time, I feel like it would be a struggle to stream it because I would just sort of want to take my time with it. Like the way I described this during the pre-show is the game feels to me kind of like you're curling up with a good book where there's like a lot of lore and there's a lot of stuff to pick up with a lot of characters, but it's not something that I'd want to actually like, I don't want to be actively playing it, if that makes sense. It's the kind of thing that like I want to absorb it instead of playing it. So there's definitely moments where like I'm just walking around, meeting the characters, messing around with the archetypes, and it's enjoyable for sure. But I think in a year filled with RPGs, right? We've had a lot of really good RPGs this year. I think I'm just slightly feeling finally that RPG burnout. And this game is, I think, good enough where I want to go, okay, I know I will enjoy this if I'm able to just sort of pace myself as opposed to like binge it the same way I did a lot of RPGs this year. And to be fair, I feel like also because I'm seeing Kill Describe say a lot of RPGs like what? Well, let me go through. I'm glad you asked. We got Infinite Wealth. We had Persona 3. We had Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We had Unicorn Overlord. We have Dragon Quest III coming up. We have Mario and Luigi coming up. There is like RPG after RPG after RPG. Shin Megami Tensei, exactly. We had the Vengeance version of Shin Megami Tensei as well. So there has just been a lot, and I feel like I need to take the time to sort of enjoy this at my own pace. So I don't see me beating it anytime soon. But from what I've played, I've greatly enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, I think the other thing that really sits with me with this game is just the themes. I think a lot of like the whole kind of surrounding idea of like systemic racism throughout the game, I just think resonates with me a lot. I just find that really, really fascinating in the context of this game. And just kind of how different people are just naturally treated throughout the world, and how like different cultures are prevalent in different spaces, how dominant the church is. In a lot of aspects, it actually reminds me of Fire Emblem Three Houses, with the dynamic of the church versus
yes,
like Luis and how he's trying to tear them down.
Yeah,
I personally make parallels between Luis and Edelgard and Forden and Rhea. Obviously they're not hot girls, but I think kind of as devices within the context of the game,
sure.
I couldn't help but draw comparisons between them, and I think like that helped me kind of invest myself into the story a lot as well.
And actually, while you're on the topic of the comparisons with Fire Emblem, it is so clear too how much not that they've taken from Three Houses necessarily, but just in terms of inspiration, like even with the music, you know, Tito, you were mentioning before we started with the chanting, the
he's going crazy over there.
Yeah, and the music is phenomenal, but it does seem like
hold on,
the orchestrations and the chanting and stuff. Oh, have you not heard this, Shofu?
He hasn't. There's no way he has.
Oh, yeah, we'll for sure pull this up. Wait a minute.
You might have to sample this.
Let me link this to you. It is really good.
If it's the song I'm thinking about.
It is.
I'll send this to you right now, when you were in my stream, Ricky, it is.
In the podcast channel.
Oh my god.
The one where I was going crazy, because I go crazy every time it pops up. Like,
are we group listening or what?
We could group listen. Yeah, I'm down. It's a good song.
Okay.
Atlas isn't going to stop us. At least I don't think so. I don't think they will. The game's been out for a while now. I think we're fine. Atlas is just always so weird when the games first come out about like what you can and can't stream.
I mean, they've already released the soundtrack, like the soundtrack on streaming platforms. So.
Oh yeah, so we're good then. Okay.
Oh really? Oh,
so you haven't heard this yet, Shofu? Oh, I'm excited. Okay.
How far is it in?
Smash.
It's right now.
It's like, yeah, coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
He really talking that talk.
Where the nodders at? Oh! That break is crazy. I'm not gonna.
It's so
fire coming through.
I honestly feel it's like one of the best battle themes of the entire year. It's so good.
That break is fucking nuts.
See, and the beautiful thing is I do feel like metaphor with where we are in the conversation right now for Game of the Year is like a lock for a Game of the Year nomination, which gets me excited for the Game Awards, because that means they're going to have like the orchestration of this.
This song is going to be played.
Oh, I can't wait.
But yeah,
That's pretty
'cause
much it. It just loops.
It just loops at
Shofu,
this
you're
point.
good. Yeah, it loops.
I have a couple of thoughts as well because I've also been playing. I gotta mute this, otherwise I'm gonna keep bopping.
You're gonna listen to this shit constantly. Yeah, it is
It's just
really
too fire.
good.
I gotta stop. What was I gonna say? Fuck, I lost my train of thought. God damn it. Oh no. Oh, okay. I was playing P5, right? So I'm playing this simultaneously with P5, and I'm playing P5 on the hardest difficulty. I just needed kind of a break from the other games that I'm playing, mainly FF14. I just need like a different game, and an excuse to play my PS5. So I was like, you know what? I'll play Royal again. I'll play it on the hardest difficulty. And then Metaphor came out, so I kind of like go between the two. What is most jarring to me, the difference is actually not like thematic or production or anything like that. The UX and the UI on both games I think is phenomenal. I love the menus of both games. I actually prefer the menus in P5 to this game. I think they can get a little they do a little too much in Metaphor sometimes, where it's like it makes shit hard to read. What really stuns me is the gameplay loop. The actual gameplay and the ability to do certain mechanics and what that involve the order in which you have your party go and what that means. There's also small stuff like being able to see your affinity counter go up or your social skills go up.
Yes.
That is nice.
That is so nice because I've been playing P5 and I'm like, well, if I want to know how close I have to tell my character to go take a shit, and he has to go and sit in the bathroom and think about it, and be like, well, I think I'm close to finishing my dexterity. Shut up. But this, I can easily see it. It's so intuitive. So all that UI and UX stuff, that quality of life stuff, I think is overall makes that game a lot easier of an actual game to play because I just have all the information that I need whenever I need it. I know, okay, I am 3 pips away, roughly, give or take. They still don't give you exact numbers, but it's like, okay, I know I'm pretty close to upping my wisdom to the next level. I know that for a fact, and it's easily accessible. So now I don't have to, do that shit. The only thing that I will say that I do kind of miss in P5 from a gameplay perspective is I don't like the designs of the personas. I don't like, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Archetypes?
I don't like them. I think
Interesting. Whoa.
The beginning ones,
They look like Evangelions.
No, the beginning ones are plain because they evolve.
No, I mean, I went ahead and looked. Some of them are really cool. But for me, and again, it comes from again, I'm playing.
Well, they're
P5.
if you don't like mecha stuff.
Yeah. It's not that it's not that I dislike mechas. It's just I'm coming, and maybe that's what it is. I'm coming from P5 where it's like there's so much variance and there's so many.
Yeah, they don't have a ton of personality because
I really
they're suits of armor. Basically.
Yeah, they're suits of armor and they're mechs, and I kind of like the idea of that's kind of what I'm missing is yes, when you get Hulkenberg, she has an archetype that's assigned to her, but she can be whatever. That's cool mechanically, but I also kind of like having Makoto be the nuke girl with a bike. I kind of like, and that's her aesthetic.
That's her thing. Yeah,
that's her thing.
I get where you're coming from 100% because I do kind of feel that slightly, and I feel like that's due to the fact that you can kind of give the archetypes to whoever you want, that they're not locked in, which is probably why they did that and they made it slightly more generic. But I do still actually like the designs of them, the basic even as early as I am.
Well, they do take different colors, right?
Yeah, they take different colors. Yeah, they change.
They
colors,
do. Yeah, they do.
Cool.
They do.
I think as well, obviously, even though there's that kind of implication that, you can put any archetype on any character, you're still going to kind of lean towards certain archetypes for certain characters
because their stats, right?
Yeah, because of their stats. It's kind of clever, though, because the first couple of characters, namely Stroll and Hulkenberg, are relatively well-rounded. Stroll leans more towards strength, Hulkenberg more towards endurance.
From what I've seen, I had a weird team. I had Main character set to healer, just with the first three. I had main character set to healer. I had Hulkenberg set to mage, and I had
Do you have a
Stroll set
brawler?
to some other shit.
Do you have a brawler? Because that's what I did. Because I had Hulkenberg. All right, Stroll's a brawler, which is the class that uses HP instead of MP. Because this game does not let you there's no MP recovery at all. Like you're fucked. So
Yeah, it doesn't come until later. You have to be very stringent with your.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
classic SMT.
It's like it's part of why on higher difficulties the hardest parts of the game are usually the very earliest dungeons because you just don't
That's
have
how it
resources.
is on highest difficulties of everything. Like because you have so little options.
Yeah.
Also, this is completely off topic, but I just want to bring this up for the one person this is related to that's actually listening to the show right now. If any of you are currently reading Hunter x Hunter, there's a character in it right now named Hulkenberg, and Hulkenberg is the character that's in Metaphor. And so every time, I know we're having a Metaphor conversation, but I just read that chapter, and I'm like, what are you talking about in terms of the Hunter x Hunter character? But I'm not saying anything. But there is a character named Hulkenberg, and then there's Hulkenberg in Metaphor. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
Gon dies.
Go ahead. Continue.
but like, I appreciate you, Roger, kind of like seeing where I'm coming from, because like I do.
100%.
That is one of the things I do miss. I miss kind of Ryuji and his like being thing, like he's the guy with the big health. And that's his thing, or I miss.
So you like when RPGs don't have like a job system, but every character has a dedicated role?
Yeah, and you kind of use the main character as like place filler. Like if you're playing, like if I'm playing P5, right? I don't have Mona on my fucking team, but that's because An has a heal and Makoto has a heal, and so they kind of cover that. So my job is to kind of like fill in gaps as opposed to kind of and I'm still at the part where I have 3 party. I don't have 4 people yet, but like that kind of structure where, yes, in general, I like more options, but when I'm playing the game, I kind of miss the identity in gameplay tied to the characters.
Yeah,
like,
and I get that.
I kind of miss that.
Yeah,
it's weird though, because I wonder where exactly that comes from in terms of like other RPGs that you like that aren't just Persona, because for me, like I grew up playing stuff like Paper Mario or like Super Mario RPG or whatever, right? And like the characters
Mario RPGs
have their regular skill set.
No, because in Mario RPG, even if you influence them on level up, those guys have defined roles.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean though.
Yeah.
Is that like, I think if you're used to games that have more defined roles, I could see that not necessarily being like a detriment, but like just not what you prefer.
Oh yeah,
like
no, I'm not saying it's bad. Like I'm not. In any way, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just one of those things where it's like
you're noticing it as you're playing.
I'm noticing it.
It's because this game lifts. It's like a blend. It's like a perfect blend of SMT and Persona. The difficulty and like things like resource management and character customization and putting stats and stuff. That's all from SMT.
I will say though, I like, not to say that I don't like SMT, but SMT to me has always been something that I get excited for. It comes out, I play it, and then I never end up beating it. Either because of the difficulty or just like I haven't stuck with it. I do feel like talking about this as the blend between the two is kind of right on the money, because I do feel like this is the best of both worlds. And like I said, I want to take my time with it and just like enjoy it on my own. Because I could tell already, once I have a little bit of a lull and a little bit of downtime, I'm going to completely sink into this.
The setting too is much.
It's
more
really
SMT.
good.
Yeah.
I
really like
that's like pretty much what it lifts. It's more. There's like you could even draw parallels to characters being like law, chaos, neutral.
Sure.
If you think about it a bit.
The thing about the setting and the world of this game is that I think it just gets better as you progress through the game, and you just see more and more like really cool locations. Even because as you're going through, you'll kind of stop off at these sort of not quite rest spots, but just spots that you just visit and look at.
They're so fucking well drawn,
some
dude.
of them are just gorgeous.
Oh,
like,
I just hit the first one
incredible.
of those. The first one of those?
Nuris is some Bob Ross ass dude. Oh, before I forget, Viram, We had a nice conversation about it on your stream. You should
voice
talk
acting?
about the accent variants.
Yeah, so this is something that I've always really liked from the Xenoblade games, the English dubs for those, except I think it does it with an even
Because I
greater
don't even
degree of
notice them,
polish.
by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of normal because if you're not from a region with those accents, you won't really be able to tell the difference. But obviously, me being from the UK, I can tell that there's a lot of different regional accents in the game.
Like I can tell, like you sound like Stroll.
Yeah, yeah. So like Stroll has a what we call received pronunciation, I believe. It's an RP accent, which is what you'd hear a lot in sort of British television and news broadcasts. It's kind of like a pretty refined, like upper middle class accent. But then you hear Hulkenberg's is different. Every single party member has a different accent.
Is the
And a lot of
necromancer supposed to be Welsh?
I want to say Scottish.
Yeah, I think
Scottish?
he's Scottish.
It's close. Like it
Yeah,
could,
I need to remember what he
yeah,
sounds like.
yeah.
There's a couple characters in the game that have Scouse Liverpool accents, and they're incredibly fun. They were the two of your favorites, Zeph.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's just a really cool thing to help add a lot of color to the world. And typically, the accents for different like races are tied to the sort of like real world class accents, if that makes sense. So like the Parapus, the beast people tend to have accents that you would hear more from kind of lower to lower middle class people. You know, I think you guys have met Katharina at this point.
What about the Mistari?
Mistari have like a kind of country, like a South country accent.
Yeah, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, it's one of those details that I really, really appreciate in these sorts of games.
I noticed a lot of the people that wear the Sanctus robes all sound the same.
Yeah.
In general, I will say the voice acting is also like superb in this. Not just like the different regional accents, but just the actual quality of the acting itself is very, very.
Oh, that's another thing I was talking about. I think I talked about this on the last episode, I think, where it sounds like the characters are acting on a stage rather than in front of a microphone.
Yes, exactly.
Like when Stroll does his awakening. I haven't heard a video game voice acted character like that in like in an anime game. He sounded like he was on a stage.
Interesting thing about that is actually like if you ever watch behind the scenes stuff of like voice actors in anime, a lot of the time the characters will physically be in the same room. Whereas like in a lot of like Western and North American different TV shows, people will record their lines separately or like a lot of the time even from home. But in something like One Piece, for example, when they have scenes with all the Straw Hats together, like all of them will be in the same room. And so when you're hearing their interactions, you're actually hearing them live interacting with one another in the room, playing off each other. And it does add an extra level of authenticity to it that I think ends up selling it and makes it really enjoyable.
It also helps with character relationships.
For sure.
Overall,
it sounds like we're liking it.
Like pretty quickly, I genuinely believed the main character and Stroll were good friends.
Yeah, that's another thing I did want to like. I'm happy you mentioned that, Zeph, because that was the thing I was actually about to highlight is that literally playing simultaneously P5, like playing Royal and this game at the same time, the personality of the main character is night and day. Like I understand that in P5 you're kind of supposed to be like a stereotypical self-insert, like that's fine.
Yeah,
but
I've called this dude a dork.
Yeah, but like he's still, no matter what you do, his personality kind of shines through in the options that they give you as kind of a dork, like that like Zeph saying, like, and that's fine, but it doesn't come out enough for it to be charming. Whereas you play the guy, or you're playing your character in Metaphor, and regardless of what option you play, the way he's presented is actually very different. You can play him very shy and reserved. You can play him very like proud and honor bound. Like there's a lot of nuance in that, and that probably has also to do with the voice acting, to be honest. A lot of that's probably that as well. But like playing both, it's just, you could tell like, oh, I get it. Like people like Joker because he looks cool, but not because they actually like the character. because the character doesn't exist.
He
Like,
doesn't
but
really
this-
have. Well, he kind of like that's what's weird about Persona games is like the MC in Persona 3 is pretty cleanly like clean
Yes.
slate
Yes.
type guy.
Correct.
But you and Joker have pretty defined personality traits at times, like a lot.
Yes. Like there's I'm reaching the end of the game where I'm spoiling P5, but like the game's been out forever, who cares? So like
Yeah.
when you So
you're good.
Yeah, so I'm in the Nijima Palace. I'm in Sai's palace, right? And that's kind of like the big like aha reveal part of the game, whatever, where like that was the opportunity. I was like, "Oh, cool." When I remember first playing it, this is the opportunity for like the defining characteristic of Joker is that he's not only smart but he's clever and he's a little cocky.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
he has-
that's what happened. Is he's cocky.
He's a little cocky. Like that's kind of but like they don't
He's being too flashy.
yeah, like he's kind of a show off. And like but they don't ever do that enough in the base game. They do it a little bit more in Royal, but like they just don't commit to it. Whereas I feel like in Metaphor, they really allow the main character, even though it is you kind of playing it and navigating it, to be like, no, this person has a personality. Like regardless of whether your choice is coming out, his personality will shine through, and I really appreciate.
You know,
Yeah.
the nice thing as well, and some might argue this isn't a nice thing, but I think it's a nice thing. The dialogue choices you make actually, like, especially during the follower links, like the essential,
It's not illusion of choice.
Yeah, like you don't. There isn't a best option in order to progress the
Correct.
relationship.
Correct.
Every option adds the same amount. The only difference is that you get a little bit of extra mag. It's not. It's like it's a handy resource, but it doesn't kind of gate you or slow you down from actually progressing the relationship, which I think is a really, really good way to handle it.
Yeah, it doesn't gigafuck. It's like, oh, okay, and I just I spent a whole day, which in these kind of games is like a huge commitment.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like
Also, they give you so much free time.
that's bro. Yes. I was like, because like I was getting kind of nervous because like I was again playing on hard difficulty. The first palace, like I was like, bro, the first palace in fucking the hardest difficulty in Persona, I was like it took me like 2 days. I'm on day 4. Like what the fuck is going? Like, so it's like, but then you finish it and you're like, oh, okay, I can have, and they immediately go, okay, now go hang out with Stroll, go hang out with Hulkenberg. Oh, okay, now go do like there's that prompting that I really like too. I do
Yeah,
think
could
it's
you
fun.
imagine having a power where if someone like just has a passing thought about you, you get a fucked
I was
up
just
like
gonna say that. I was just gonna say that.
That'd be freaky.
Bro, instead of
like,
them
oh
texting
shit,
you,
I have to go talk to this one.
instead of them texting you because that doesn't exist, he's just they just go, yeah, you just hear their thoughts, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want that. Get that
Bro,
away.
if I was Luis, I'd just be thinking mean things at him all the time.
Do we like? Do we,
while
do we
while
like
we're on the
Luis?
topic of this,
Yeah, I love
yes.
Luis.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
okay.
Yes.
I just okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think we're
He
all
plays
around.
his
we
role
agree.
perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I will actually say I also really like, which at first I was like, I don't know if I'm going to dig this part of it because this is something that in these types of games I normally do enjoy. I like that there's not really like player romance because I feel like a big thing with Persona games is early on. I feel like if I'm saying things to the wrong people, I'm like locking myself out of stuff later on or like really screwing myself over for something later on. Whereas in this one, I'm not feeling that. I feel like maybe there'll be additional dialogue or things as my like relationships with these characters build, but like the fact that it's not like I'm getting different dialogue from somebody else because I went on a date with this character and I'm missing out on other stuff. I feel, especially for a game like this where, like I said in the beginning, I have to like make a point to take my time with it and like slow down. It would be too much. And I feel like it was a really smart decision for them to not include it.
The romance thing is also cool. This isn't a spoiler or anything. It has nothing to do with the game. Just throwing that out there. It's a general statement. I think not having player romance options can also allow the writer to have a natural, like actual love interest for the MC.
Yeah, for sure.
Write it naturally into the story. Like Xenoblade.
Yeah.
Well, because it's funny that you guys mentioned that because it's like most of us either played P5 or are aware of it. So I'm not spoiling anything. But when I played P5, it kind of feels like the game wants you to pick Makoto.
In Persona games, there is like
there is a character that they kind of like
very clearly.
There's a character that like dotes on the protagonist a bit.
Like for 4, it's Rise.
Yeah.
Is it Makoto in 5, or am I making that up?
It is.
I'm honestly not sure.
I think
it is
because.
because.
By the way, welcome Games Cage. We have to say
also they appear if they appear in
here.
promotional
Welcome.
material together all the time.
They do?
If they do.
Oh, if they do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do think it's
Makoto?
supposed to be Makoto. Yeah.
It is.
Okay. Okay, because that's kind of like the vibe I'm getting. Now, I'm gonna rank 10 Makoto anyway because her thing is because it's cool. Because she's a likable character. Yeah, and she's strong and she's a likable character anyway. But I like in this game that like you're saying, Zeph, where it's like, oh, if I didn't want to do that, or even if I just wanted to not, like if I just wanted to be like, you're cool and I want to vibe, like I'm not getting giga fucked out of your ultimate persona. Like I'm not just like giga fucked.
Right.
This is kind of irrelevant to the discussion, but I but I'd like for Persona to go back to the older style where they so you know how each character has like an arcana?
Yeah.
They had like a persona and then they could use all the personas from that arcana if they had it.
Oh wow, really?
Ooh. Yeah.
Wait, so like for example, Ryuji would be able to use anything that's a chariot?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Kind of cool.
And broken. That's broken.
Play Persona 2.
I have P3. I have P3R on my like. I have an order. Like I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm going back, but yeah, it's a good game. I will say though, and I might be partial. I know they're not nearly the same character, but I did have this conversation once. I want to see what you guys think. As a like villain structure, I get it. I really like Luis as a villain, but I do kind of like the villain of the week aspect of Persona, especially a 5. I kind of like that. And I've yet to find a villain more hateable than Kamoshida. like Kamoshida is such a piece of shit.
It's so weird they opened the game with that.
They do. He's the first one.
He's the first.
And then the ones after it are like bad, but it's like, okay, dude.
No, it's that and that. And then you go, and then in Royal, I think Maruki is tied with him as a villain, but for a completely different reason.
Because I think with Kamoshida, it's like this.
It's so real.
Yeah, it's like over the top, but in a real way.
Yeah.
Like this, the other ones feel like a little bit too much of like a your cartoon villain of the week. But
like
Kamoshida
you've heard this
like,
story before in reality.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what it is, Viram? It's exactly what it is. He's doing a lot, but it's not too much. You know what I mean? Like that's exactly what it is. He's doing a fucking lot, but it's not too much where you're like, nah.
Like, yeah, like it's like in the chat. It says going from pedophile teacher to stolen art is fucking crazy.
It's fucking crazy. Oh shit! Going to that causes high schooler to basically jump off a building to.
And that's the beginning of the game.
And she's like one of the sweetest girls ever.
Bro, she's it's the beginning of the fucking game. I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at the topic. I'm laughing because it's insane.
No, of course. I know. It's nuts.
No, I laugh at when like something insane happens. I look terrible.
Like, speaking of something that's insane, by the way, because we have a lot of topics we got to get to, and I feel like we're gonna have more metaphor talk as more of us get further into the game. I want to give a shout out to Sakurai's YouTube channel. Now, for those of you guys who have not followed this news, essentially for the past 2 years, Sakurai has been putting together a YouTube channel, sort of like teaching game developers his tips and tricks. He basically told people since the last show that they are going to release this final video for his YouTube channel, and that is going to be that. In this video that he uploaded on Monday, he revealed that every single one of his videos for the past 2 years was recorded in a 4-month span 2.5 years ago, in between his work finishing on Smash Ultimate and him starting his new project, which apparently he's been working on for 2 years already. And so basically he was talking about like his process and, you know, why he did the channel in the first place, that apparently he poured about $600,000 of his own money into the channel. He didn't have it monetized, despite the fact that it's going to get monetized by YouTube anyway. He turned off monetization, which in the video he admits was actually a stupid move. It is a really, really good video. And I was just curious if any of you had actually already seen this, or if you...
Yeah, I watched it.
What are your thoughts on this? Because he's a madman.
We all knew he was a fucking machine. This video just kind of further emphasizes how much of a fucking machine Sakurai is. Like, he made years worth of content, readied that up, recorded it, scripted it in mere months. Like, my guy was like, okay,
4 months.
Yeah, my guy was like, okay, I have like an 8-month break to just relax, but this is such a rare period for me, so I don't want to relax. I want to do something, and he just did it.
That was his vacation.
Yeah.
That was insane that he said that too. That he was like, oh, I knew this was the only time I was going to do it, and this is fun. It'll be like a side project for me, and I can do it during this time. It was like his vacation. I mean, literally, he could have taken that time to like explore the world. And I thought some of the stuff he even said in that video was funny. He's like, I can't leave for a long period of time because my cat would miss me.
Yeah, like
it's just like, what?
It's like, oh
Does he
yeah,
have a family?
I have a few months between projects. What could I do? Well, I could go on vacation, but I have a cat, so I guess I'll record 2 years worth of YouTube content in a 5-month span.
And he was going between 2 different houses to record this. And he was like, in the time since he's recorded this, he has sold that other house. So he can't even record videos in that other house.
Yeah, more context on that is he got that second residence because it was closer to, I think, Namco Bandai's office.
Yes,
like he
right,
got a
right,
house
for Smash
closer
Brothers.
to the Namco office for working on Smash. Like
Absolutely
dude just
insane.
got a temporary second house, like to work on a game.
Money.
Bro spent $1 million Canadian to make a YouTube channel because he could.
Right. Just drop 9 million yen, something like that.
Yeah.
And like, to be fair, it wasn't like everything was done 2.5 years ago. Like
No,
actually,
But
it doesn't
all
even
his
just-
recording was done. All the stuff that he did in terms of recording videos
The heavy
was done.
lifting,
Right.
Yeah, he wrote every script and recorded all of the videos in a like 5-month period. And
He
then
outlined all of them, grouped them up into like separate categories where there was the grab bag one.
And then over the
You're
next 2
spreading
years,
misinformation. It wasn't 5 months that he recorded it. He like recorded it in a month because he was doing like he was knocking back like 12 videos a day.
Yeah, he was doing like 12 a day.
together
He was
had
doing like 12 a day. Yeah.
he had like 5 to 6 months between projects, and yeah, he wrote all of the scripts in 1 month, and he shares the math on screen. It's like, yeah, if you math that out, that's 12 scripts a day for a month
And then he
straight.
recorded the next month. He recorded 12 a day, and it was the editing part that took the longest.
Yeah.
Like, his part for the most, like he was done.
Well, no,
It was
because
happening
then
over-
he said
could've
like as
been.
new games
Right.
came out, he felt like they were better. He would go record footage of the new game.
Right, and he
replace
would
what
go
else
and
he was
record
doing.
that. Or him saying, or even how it was like, oh, they would send me approvals.
Does he edit it?
No,
No.
He
He
had
didn't
an
personally
editing
edit it,
team.
That's
The
why
majority,
that-
yeah,
that's
the
what I was
majority of the money
referenced.
that he spent was
He made the
editing.
reference videos
Well,
for the
yeah,
editing
no,
team
of
for
course,
Right.
because the way that he
made one reference, Ricky.
he literally acted out Brawl trailers in
That's just
in
insane.
real life. So like the people,
Man.
yeah,
He really is a machine, though.
He-
Like,
he's
being able
the
to crank
like
all of that
breathing
out.
down your neck ultimate boss.
It was funny though, because there was a statement that Kit and Krista were talking about on their podcast. I think it was on Monday or whatever last week. They have to come on, by the way. At some point, we got to have them on as
we'll
guests.
get 'em.
I'm sure they'll come on at some point. But
Do
they
we
were
have to
talking
behave,
on
or
their
can we-
show.
Oh, wait, no, they're
they're
detached.
fine. They're not. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not in the den anymore. You're good.
They're free.
Yeah, they're free. So no, but what I was gonna say is that they had mentioned on there about, and when they brought this up, I was like, this is probably something that's gonna happen. That now Sakurai, whenever he's making his next game and the social media team is saying, oh, we want to market it this way, that Sakurai is going to be like, well, I made a whole YouTube channel, so I actually think this is the right way to go about it. And the social media teams aren't going to hear the end of it now, where he's like, I made a successful YouTube channel, so I know what I'm talking about. So, it's just,
Sakurai is that
it's
dude who's
crazy
just
to think
this
about.
can't be. This isn't that hard. Just do it this way, and
yeah,
it's like
just do it this way. I
It's
did
like,
it.
no,
I did it in 4
it's
months.
not that easy, man. Like there's like this stuff. Like, no, it is. Watch here, I'll do it.
Oh man.
Yeah, rocket science. No, it's not that complicated. Look, I can do
Not
the
a
math
big
right
deal. I
now.
figured out how to do
Also,
it.
we have to
Exactly.
remember he's working with infinite money.
For sure. Yeah, I mean for sure.
Like
Well, that's the thing.
Do we know that
$630,000
about him
US
personally?
dollars. I
Well,
mean,
his
yeah,
personal
Ultimate.
money was
He made
not
Ultimate.
infinite, but he made a lot of money.
every single
didn't make
Smash
Ultimate.
game sells like crazy. He is
Yeah,
super
but like
rich, for sure.
No, a lot of developers don't get like royalties. However, he probably went freelance
does.
to do that.
Right. I was
yeah.
going to say, I think the fact that he's with Sora and not a Nintendo employee now means, and because the only two Sora employees, the only two, and he's gone on record saying this, are him and his wife. And then their cat. That's what his
Yeah.
cat's
Oh my
not an
gosh.
employee. But
Is
literally,
that
that's it.
is it so?
It's him,
So
his wife, and their
gets
cat.
royalties for the menus.
No, she
Yeah, 'cause
works
she
on
does
them.
she makes the menus.
Yeah,
Right?
no, that's what I mean. So she gets royalties.
Oh, I
Right.
don't think the game has royalties, but I think Sakurai probably charges a very
Or
exorbitant
Exactly.
residuals or
amount.
something.
And so,
Okay.
like,
so
I feel like he
essentially
could
the
charge
developer,
whatever he wants.
100%, because they're going to
Well,
want
yeah,
to use him.
Yeah.
Sakurai's like
Naturally.
it's literally like the like Picasso. You couldn't get another one of his.
No, whatever
have to
he
go to
wants
him.
to do, he's going to do, which
that
actually
is true.
leads me into the question I was going to ask all of you is after finding out that he's been working on something for 2 years, but that apparently the treatment for this game only took like a week or so to write. What do you think this game is that he's working on? Do you think it's a new Smash?
say
Do you
it's
think
no,
it's a new IP?
It's
Yeah,
Smash.
I think it's
Just
Smash.
say it for Dylan.
I don't think it's
Is
it-
Smash.
I don't
what?
think it's.
Huh?
I don't think it's Smash.
I don't think it's Smash because
So I want to, I
Why?
want to hear
It's
from
not
the people
Smash.
who don't think it's Smash. Then go ahead.
I was gonna say, why would he say that he was recruiting people for a game if it's Smash? I feel like the people that already have worked on the series and everything would be the ones on.
It's a different team like every time.
Yeah, every time he makes
Yeah,
a new
but
team.
I guess, but I feel like I don't know that to me it came off as like it's gonna be either now obviously Copium is he's making a new Kid Icarus, but
Would be fire.
he could be doing that.
I
or
just
he's
I'm
doing
logically
another-
thinking, and I just think it's Smash.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Switch 2 is coming. And
I,
you know
I
Nintendo
do not
wants
think
it.
it's Smash.
I-
And I don't
the
think it's Smash
only-
because if it was Smash, I don't think he would even mention that he was working. That's what I think.
Yeah,
I don't
and
think
the
he
other
would-
thing,
yeah.
I don't think he
I'm
would
in
even
agreement.
talk
hasn't
Yeah.
this
about
happened
it.
before?
yes.
It has.
But it has. But I think the difference was now that we know the context that he wrote the treatment for his next game and then recorded all those videos. I remember we talked about on Japan Time, and like it was a trending topic on Twitter for a couple days when he had done that video about Smash Brothers and him saying he doesn't know what's going to happen with the next game and whether he'd even be involved at all. And I do actually believe him when he said that. I do.
Which was 2.5 years ago.
Which was 2.5 years ago, but it was after he had written this treatment that he talked about, where they were recruiting this team for this other thing, and he apparently had finished the treatment early. I feel like there is a world in which I could see him supervising
yeah.
another Smash game, but I think I actually am in agreement that it's not Smash and that it is something else and that it's a property that he is familiar with because of how quickly he wrote the treatment. And Kid Icarus would obviously be sick, but I actually think it might be Kirby.
I also
Because-
think it's Kirby. I think it's
Really?
Kirby.
Okay, so I'm not
No,
alone.
no,
All right.
I
I was
think it's
thinking
Kirby.
that.
Because
I was waiting to let
let
you
me
cook.
explain
I
why.
also think
Yeah.
it's Kirby.
I
love
think
a
it's
Sakurai
Kirby.
Kirby.
Because
It's AI2, let's
Sakurai,
go.
his baby was Kirby. That's literally how he got started. And
Yeah.
Sakurai, knowing what we know about Sakurai, he does, first off, he does what he wants, right? Two, he knows, and he's brought up even in that video that he recorded recently, right? His final video that he did after this entire thing has happened. I think he said it was like 3 or 4 weeks or something before that video went up is when he recorded it. But like it was recent when he filmed that. And he had mentioned that he really does realistically, he's getting to the age, and a lot of Nintendo's developers are getting to the age in which they have to consider retirement. And like they have a finite amount of projects that they have left that they can make in a reasonable amount of time. And like obviously Sakurai is a workhorse. The man will probably never retire, but I do think in his brain he is kind of like a
He's
Hayao
thought about
Miyazaki in the sense where he's thought about it, right? That he
thought
might
about
not necessarily do it, but he's thought about it. And I think when you look at the direction Kirby has gone in recently with Forgotten Land and with even some of the side games, like with Kirby, like the Dream Buffet and like all the other fun little side games. They've done side games and they've done 3D games, but they haven't done a new 2D Kirby since Star Allies, because the other one was a remake of the one that was on Wii.
Correct.
And that was where Sakurai got his start. I would not be surprised if he's helming like a new team in coordination with Nintendo and HAL Labs to do like his final 2D Kirby game.
For me, that would be weird just because, like, Kirby's not in a bad place at all. Like, I feel like Kirby's in the best place it's ever been. And I almost feel like it would be a waste. Because, like, I don't know, if the last few Kirby games were bad and I found that Sakurai was coming on board, I'd be like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like, the one who started is coming to save it. But Forgotten Land's the best selling in the series.
Great. Yeah, it's a
Current
good
director
game.
and team, they clearly know what they're doing. And so even if it would be a banger game, I still feel like it would be a waste if it was a Kirby. Just
but
because,
you're,
again,
you're talking from the perspective of a consumer. He is
like
Sakurai.
thinking as an auteur, right?
He's thinking
But
as the
even-
guy. I want to work on the thing that I want
I
to work
made.
on that
Right.
I made. Like,
Yeah,
fuck
he-
what
he-
y'all talking about.
Fidel, these
for him-
people are all freaks that worked with Miyamoto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. But I guess for me, I think of Sakurai too, and I get that's his baby, but I wonder if he feels like, well, my baby's in the right hands, and I could just make something different and more improved as opposed to just revisiting Kirby again.
No,
I
don't know,
do think my counter argument to that would be that the way, not that Star Allies is a bad game at all, right? It's a decent game. I think Forgotten Land's a significantly better game, but Star Allies is
absolutely.
fine. And like the
Forgotten,
Wii
yeah,
one, the Wii one that came out recently on
Forgotten
Switch,
Land's
they got a
good.
remake. It's pretty decent too.
I still
But
think
I think
Robobot is like one of the,
Oh, yeah,
maybe the
Robobot's
best Kirby
great.
game.
Yeah.
Robot's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
good.
But I
Robot's
think
really
when
good.
you look at modern 2D Kirby and you go, and I only say this because I've recently gone back and played Kirby Superstar when I was on my flight to Hawaii. I literally like booted it up on my SNES like NSO thing, and I was playing a little bit of Superstar. That game does feel drastically different from a lot of modern 2D Kirby games that feel more like not necessarily cookie cutter, because I feel like that would be a slight to the game, but also like safe. Whereas I think Sakurai, when he works on a Kirby game, you get like the weird stuff. You get stuff like Meta Knight's Revenge, in which the whole like font and style of the game is completely different. And also built into the same game, you have this other game that's like a Metroidvania. And I don't know. I feel like
It'd be
his
cool
level
if
of
we got a
creativity-
Kirby game that didn't use the same.
Yeah, the
level
same
themes.
assets or something. He could do like a totally different art style, or like Sakurai could put his own spin on something. And I think with him as an auteur, knowing that this is his baby, kind of like what Tito brought up, he's not going to have many more opportunities, because I think he knows in his brain, regardless of whatever he says, he knows eventually he's going to be back to making Smash Brothers. And I think he knows he's going to be doing that until probably
can't.
until the day he dies, until he can't,
Yeah.
right? And
Which
so
he
I think,
said.
but
He
like
said on-
realistically, he said that, right?
He said on Harada's podcast that like he feels that people should be able to like work until they genuinely cannot. And so I really
Right.
think he is going to be making stuff.
Well, yeah,
He said,
I
like, he
agree.
feels like he has a
Allowed to
duty
be.
to it. Yeah. But he even said he feels like he said he feels like he has a duty. You know, like as long as he can make something cool, he should be doing it. And so I
Yeah.
feel like he
Yeah.
genuinely will be making games till he cannot.
I think if you want to work, you can work. That's what I.
This is
Yeah.
why I'm all like I'm kind of on Roger's page, is because, or yeah, the same page as Roger, because like in the past, you know, I think around Brawl's time, he was talking about like, you know, one day someone else is going to be like doing Smash Bros. You know, this might be my last one. I think he said that for Brawl.
Yeah.
Did.
And
He
now
did.
he's done like every game since. And I think it's a situation of he would like to pass on the torch, but he has not found someone that he wants to.
Yeah.
As we can clearly tell, like he's a machine. He is like, he has a vision when he's creating something and will execute it like start to finish in 2 months if he has to, right? Like he knows what he wants to do and how to get there and how to create it. And so I think now that he's like at this point in his career where he's just like, you know, I should start thinking about retirement. I think it's reasonable for him to want to go to the series that got him his start, that is still like beloved to him,
Yeah.
and do like one last Kirby
Like
that's his.
right. Like
Yeah.
a last hurrah, and that would also explain the new team comment too, because like most of us know this. We've talked about this on the show again before too, and this kind of goes in line with a news story we brought up on the last episode, which was those firings from Bandai Namco, or not the firings, but the people like leaving Bandai because they're being put in rooms to not do anything, essentially. And one of the topics that came up in that was apparently one of those projects that was canned was a project that was in conjunction with Nintendo. Now, last year, we reported on the news about the two new teams, Team S and I think it's Team A, Team S and Team A, that are over at Namco. One's making an action game, and then one presumably is making Smash Brothers. We know Bandai Namco has two internal teams at Nintendo that were being put together. Now, if you look at when that was announced in conjunction with knowing about this time frame of when he was like putting these teams together, they do somewhat align, like the public announcement of them putting together this new team and also this, but also that team might not be like one of those teams might be Smash Brothers, and that canceled Nintendo game might not be related to either of those teams. That could have been like a Mario Baseball or something. That might have something that's completely unrelated.
That was poking too.
Oh, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, maybe, yeah. But I do think that second action team that's not making Smash Brothers is probably the one that they were hiring for throughout the process when, like, right after Sakurai made that treatment for it. And again, him saying and making a note of saying that he finished the treatment really quickly implies to me that it's something he's familiar with, which would also then narrow it down to, like, Kirby, Kid Icarus, and Smash Brothers. Right.
Yeah, I just don't think, when I watched that video and heard him say that, I was like, I just don't think he will be happy. Like, he's waited too long to make a Kirby game. He's getting close.
Right.
He knows he has one Kirby game left. I think he wants to do it now before, while he can. Like, it's just like,
dude,
it's
I
crazy.
don't know about waiting too long. I think realistically, if he went to HAL and said, "I want to make a Kirby game," they would let him.
110%, of course, yeah.
But here's the thing. Oh, go ahead, Fidel.
No, go.
I was gonna say, on Tito's note, I can absolutely see Sakurai doing something like they come to him like, "Hey, do you want to make Smash for Switch 2, Deluxe or a new game or whatever?" And he's in this mindset of just I have to start thinking about the end of my career. I would not put it past Sakurai to be like, "Yeah, I'll do another Smash, but I want a golden credit card to make another Kirby game."
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, and that's exactly right.
Yes,
right.
That's exactly
right.
what I want.
That's what
he
I'm
wants to
thinking,
make
too.
in my head the way it's coming off, not even in my head, just the way he's talking and the way the information it reads. He wants to make the Kirby game of his dreams. That's what he wants to make,
his
the
magnum
game.
opus, the Kirby game.
He wants to make
Kirby
the
games.
Kirby game.
Yes.
He wants to make Kirby's Adventure in Dreamland Ultimate.
Yes. I also feel like he probably realizes now that the core Kirby team at HAL, like Fidel was saying, is in good hands, right? I think the reason he is probably obligated, or he is not obligated necessarily, but maybe challenged to make a good Kirby game is because of the fact that they are now okay without him, right? They have proven with Forgotten Land and Dream Buffet and all these other fun side games, right? That Kirby is gonna be fine. And I think knowing how Sakurai's weird brain works, I think knowing that someone else is doing a really good job at the thing that he created is sparking a competitive thing in his brain.
He's
to
inspired.
Be I'm going to make it better. right.
He's literally getting inspired by the people around him. He's that kind of guy.
On the flip side, on the underrated side of Kid Icarus, I really do think there's a decent chance, because it's very clear from even Smash that he does love that game. It doesn't feel like a game he just made and dipped. That game is incredible. Those characters are fleshed out. I think even he knows there's still a lot more stories and set piece. I feel like Kid Icarus is his one chance he gets to make a cinematic game. Because those set pieces in Kid Icarus Uprising are unbelievable for a 3DS. Even that game ported to console would look insane.
Especially if it was Switch 2, right? Because we have to assume this game is going to be a Switch 2 game.
Exactly. And so whether it was a deluxe Uprising where he made a new story in it because he would, and new multiplayer and stuff, or just a brand new one with new levels, new stuff, I feel like he'd like to do that too. I feel like he still feels like he could do a lot more stuff with Pit, Palutena, introduce new characters.
What were you gonna say, Ricky?
No, he answered it. I was going to ask, are you thinking that he was going to do a port, or do you think he's going to do a sequel? So
I
he
see.
said,
I almost
think he
it
could
could
not
be
not
either
to.
or.
I don't mean this at all as a transition because there is other stuff I want to talk about. I want to save
Yeah.
Sonic for last, but I almost feel like a Sonic Shadow Generations type deal with Kid Icarus would
Yeah.
actually be perfect for him, where they could
100%.
remake the original game, right? You have that original campaign for Uprising, but then he makes like a new Bowser's Fury Shadow Generations level type campaign that makes it new. And that the
Yeah.
whole game is packaged as the way to like promote Switch 2. Because that's the other thing about this is him mentioning like not knowing when his game was going to be released. Like traditionally, right? When GameCube got announced, one of the games they announced with it was Melee. When the Wii first got announced, one of the games that Iwata talked about wanting more than anything else was Smash Brothers. When the 3DS first got announced, the first game ever revealed for the 3DS was Kid Icarus Uprising. So like traditionally, he is there with the game very early on in the life cycles of a lot of these systems, even with Wii U, right? With Wii U and 3DS, them announcing that that was going to be happening at the same time. That was technically like one of the first Wii U games announced as well.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he was putting together this team and going through this process of doing it and having this short thing that he wrote up, like a short treatment for the game, because it was something that was potentially like a remaster and something that he was familiar with. Yeah, that also maybe has a new campaign.
Yeah, if they want to be like Sonic Shadows, imagine like a Dark Pit campaign.
Bro,
That'd be awesome,
exactly.
'cause
Yeah.
people love Dark
Yeah.
Pit.
People
And
loved
so-
it. He's in Smash. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's him getting a sequel story, seeing what he's doing now, what he's up to. Because like, there would be no point of a prequel because we see when he like comes to existence. So a sequel game in a sense with Dark Pit would be awesome. I just still think that game has so much potential. And yeah, knowing Sakurai, he would want the original game available to people because it really was just on 3DS and they need to put that over. So
And they
we'll
would
see.
need time to get a new team for that as well, because the whole
Yeah.
thing with Sora, with the Smash games and with Kid Icarus, right, is that he grabbed all these people from around
Contracts,
the
yeah.
industry that have wanted to work with him, made the game, and then went, okay, bye, go off and do your own thing. So he would actually, even in the case of porting something over to Switch 2, would have to get a lot of those original people back, and then also add in a bunch of people if he's making new content, which knowing Sakurai he is, even if it is a quick treatment, getting new people that are on board that also understand sort of like the vocabulary of that game. Yeah. Whew. Well, good conversation.
I definitely
on Sakurai.
think if we do get like Kid Icarus Uprising comes over, I think it's gonna be more than just a port, like a remaster or remake or something. It's like I believe it was with Brawl. At first, Brawl was going to just be Melee on the Wii, but they changed that. And then the same thing with like Smash 4 to Ultimate. People thought at first like, oh, like people accused Ultimate was going to be a port. I thought Sakurai went a record of saying that like he didn't want to just do that. He wanted to do something more with it.
Yeah, and I think he would want to, right? I think he would absolutely, knowing Sakurai, he'd want to make it cool and add new features to it and probably like implement the multiplayer, because there was a multiplayer mode in Uprising that was pretty fun.
That would be huge. I think that'd be like that would be
That's
like
a
a
fun
huge
launch
multiplayer
game?
game today. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. If you had like good online support, regular controls, people would be super into that, because it was sort of like, it was a half,
So
if I'm
good.
remembering this correctly, like a half arena fighter, like shooter
it's
type
like,
game.
Yeah. It's like a 3D third-person shooter with like melee combat too, depending on the weapon you pick.
Yeah. Well, one last thing I want to bring up before we get into the obvious huge topic of conversation that everyone's waiting for us to talk about, which is Sonic and Shadow. One last thing I want to bring up, because I know people in this call, I think Shofu included, has played this. What are people's thoughts on Super Mario Party Jamboree currently? Because that came out since the last show.
I hate it.
You hate it?
Yes, sir.
He's lying.
Whoa,
I just
let's hear it.
actually just crashed out. I actually just crashed out on stream over it. No, but
really?
Okay. Yeah, no, I did. But that's because I've been losing nonstop. Now, me being a loser aside, I think it is as good as other Mario parties. Like, I think the boards, having new boards is fun. Having new mini games is fun. It's like it fits the standard of new Mario Party. I think this is definitely the most evil one in a long time, I will say.
I know they added stars or whatever back.
Yeah, so they have. Well, that's in that one map, the Rainbow Gallery, not Rainbow Gallery, the old Mario Party one up. So when
Rainbow
I say it's
Castle?
the most, yeah, Rainbow Castle. When I say it's the most evil, it's because it has the most tools than ever to screw some people over. So, for example, now they brought back an item from the old Mario Parties where you could put a Star Steel space on the ground. When you get the whole Jamboree buddy, the whole idea is like you find a little buddy on the map, you get him, and
So
so
it's
when
way
you
more
have
chaotic
that
than
buddy.
usual.
Yeah. So when you have that buddy, you can theoretically steal 2 stars when you go on a boost spot if you have enough money. Or if you go to a
That's some
shop,
bullshit.
yeah, if you go to a shop, you can buy double items. So for example, if that shop has the gold pipe, you could buy 2 gold pipes if you have enough. So because of the traps being back, because of the Jamboree buddy, I would say it is definitely the most like evil in a long, long time. Yeah, and if you go to Bowser, it gets you on it twice. Like, it's chaotic. It's definitely the most chaotic, but it is one where if you're screwed in the back, like it's hard to get back up. But it is
Okay.
if we're talking bar to bar like quality, it has a great roster, has great online, has the fun Coopathlon mode, has 7 maps, which is more than they've had in the last like 5 games. So variety of content. Mini games are fun. I feel like they're lacking in how many there are, and I think it's because they do that thing where they put a bunch of mini games in like the side modes that people end up playing like twice because at the end of the day everybody just wants to go play regular Mario Party. But that's my thoughts on it, is that genuinely it's a great game, but I will say it is definitely one of the more punishing ones. But that's also Mario Party, so you know what you're getting into.
Never in my life have I viewed Mario Party anything like this. I don't care about none of that. Roll the goddamn dice.
I'm saying, bro.
No, that's not what you.
I'm saying, bro.
You can't say that when he said he completely disagrees. You can't say same, bro.
I can't say hell no.
Well, what do you think about it?
I think it's Mario Party. It's Mario Party. I'm gonna play Mario Party like I always play Mario Party. I don't care about none of that extra shit you was talking about.
But
Hold on,
compared
you
to
have to
because
co-sign-
obviously we have 2 now. We have Super Mario Party and we have Superstars. In terms of the ranking of the other 2 with this one, where
what's
is
this
one
I'm
currently
hearing? Hold
falling
on,
for
hold
you?
on. What's this I'm hearing? Like about 20 turn games taking 20
They take
hours?
forever. No, not
Bro,
20.
12.
They take
We
3
played
hours.
a 12 turn game for the pro mode shit. That shit took like an hour and a half.
Why?
It's at 100 minutes estimation.
For 12 turns?
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 turns.
so
12 turns took almost
it's-
2 hours. Yeah.
Oh,
Is the
games
game
are
moving in
longer
slow
now.
motion?
So the characters move slow, but there's a lot more. No, it's because the game has a lot more stopping things. So, for example, mini games have way longer timers now. Often, the
God.
Jamboree buddy mini games, some of them can last 5 minutes, like plus. So it's the additive nature of like everybody, doing their different shop stops, map planning, yada yada yada. That's why like it takes long. Like, for example, I did 20 turns today. It took me almost 3 hours. That's how I was late. Which, again, to be fair, like old school Mario Party was like that, where like more turns you pick. But it used to be that you would pick like 50 turns for a 3-4 hour board. But yeah, no, it does. They do last a while. But to answer your question, Roger, I would rank the the 3 Mario Party games on Switch. I'd put Superstars on top. Like that was the remake of the old ones. I felt like that was a perfect balance of like bringing back the old formula, perfect mini game selection, good shit. The next one, I would put this one because again, it's all new boards. It has a mix of old and new mini games.
Also, its competition is
it's exactly And then Super Mario Party is like last by a mile too. Like it's not even close.
Yeah.
Do you have has anyone else played it?
I co-sign everything you said, Fidel, especially about the game being brutal and punishing. Because
It's
even if you play
brutal.
excellently, like I was basically ahead. I was winning because it was me, Shofu, Chubbs, and Peso. So we had a game. I was playing excellently the entire time. But for some reason, because I was winning, I started getting bad rolls. I started landing in bad spots. It disconnected me a couple times for no reason too. Made no sense. And I had to fight back missteps all the way to like the last 11th turn. The last turn. Had I not shafted Shofu to secure second place and win the game, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. That's the only part. That's the only problematic part about it.
Again, it's Mario Party, so in some way, it's always gonna be that way. It's always gonna be on the last 3 turns. Everything can change and fuck up. But again, because of the nature of how much more shit you can do, it feels more brutal.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because that's actually an amazing name. I see someone in the chat saying Ricky Throkane. That's actually an amazing name.
Don't ban that person. If you have moderator ability, ban that person immediately.
I have moderator
literally
ability. I'm
didn't
the VIP.
I 100%. Shofu can attest. I didn't throw that game. I was actually playing like nobody's ever played. And that was my second time ever playing Mario Party 2.
Now, did you play this on stream with them? Like, is there a place where we could actually see?
Yeah. We played it. The people were around. We played it. It was, there's proof. There's proof that I was doing good.
I just don't believe you.
I don't believe you.
I just don't believe you.
Right. Naturally,
It's Mario
of course
Party.
you wouldn't believe me because
What happened this time?
We were talking about how well I was playing and how you weren't able to come back because, this, that, and the third, and like how hard the game is, and blah. That's all we was talking about.
Did Ricky?
Okay. Wait. Hold on, Roger. Hold on. Did you tell them that you disconnected every other turn and had the CPU?
I told them that because I was winning, the game disconnected me a couple times so that the computer could give you guys an advantage.
But he was actually in the game. He owns the game and was playing the game with you.
Yeah, I'm just as surprised as you are.
Holy crap, man! That's amazing.
This is nuts.
Wow.
This is nuts. Yes. I
didn't believe he had the game until he was actually in the game.
I would not have believed that either. That's unbelievable.
Isn't it crazy?
What's unbelievable about it? What's astounding about me buying a game?
You just don't play games. I don't see you buying or playing games. You never.
Yeah.
I don't have to get every single game that comes out. Especially when you guys drop the games
like
in 5
seconds ago.
Bro, it's not even
when
every
you
single
said
game.
3 or 4 episodes ago, when we did that the thing where like we were going over everybody's favorite games on Japan Time, and you marked Tears of the Kingdom, I was like, there's simply no way you've ever played Tears of the Kingdom. I believe you have played Breath of the Wild. I don't believe you played Tears of the Kingdom. I don't believe it.
I played Tears of the Kingdom. I played the new Zelda. What are you talking about? I played that.
You played Echoes of Wisdom.
All the good things. Of course, I played Echoes of Wisdom.
You said, of course. All right.
I know.
What were the bosses of the first 3 temples? Right now, what were the bosses of the first 3 temples in Echoes of Wisdom?
You had like a Thales rock thing. You had the armadillo that had wings in the sand. And then you had no, you didn't fight that spider with the diamond yet. I don't know when that came, and the dragon.
I believe you. I believe you. Okay.
Yeah, there's no way he Googled that fast.
I think he watched the playthrough.
He watched the playthrough. But I also don't think he Googled it that quick. I'll believe you on that one. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so Ricky,
I play the good game.
Here's a question for
this
you,
is
Ricky.
why my list is so cursed. My list is so cursed because I only go for the high quality good games that are guaranteed. Because if I depend on playing games,
that's why you got Mario Party instead of Metaphor, right?
Right. Wow.
Wait,
what were you saying,
so Ricky, right?
Before that?
Yeah, you're a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, right?
Uh-huh.
Have you played 3 yet?
Massive. Yes, I played that almost like 2 years ago or something.
Because every time I talk to you, you have not played that game. But you talk about Kingdom Hearts, I get that because there's a bunch of series I like. I haven't finished games, but I'm just saying.
I believe that you played Kingdom Hearts though.
Yeah, I did Kingdom Hearts. The only thing that I haven't played that I really want to play is just Sparking. That's like the
for that.
Once
you don't
I
have
get that
a,
out of the way, then
console.
I'm done. Yeah, right, yeah, something like that.
So I can't say anything.
All
about
right.
that, so I know that
one thing I know for sure Fidel has played is Sonic and Shadow Generations.
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
So let's talk finally
Let's
about Sonic Shadow Generations. How you guys are feeling about it? Most of us have beaten Shadow Generations at this point. How are people feeling?
It's good.
It's amazing.
It's peaked, bro. I will say, as you know, obviously here I have a bias, of course, But I will say, based on not just myself, from others that have played it, from everything, I feel like this is the first time. I think this is deadass the first time since Generations where people are just unanimously agreeing that this is like a great, amazing game. You know, I feel like this is one of the few times where everyone just agrees that there's no ifs, buts, and exceptions. Or, oh, this is buggy. Like, oh, this shit is ass like this. Oh, it has a bad mechanic. Like, the Shadow Gens, especially that, because Sonic Gens is Sonic Gens. If you loved it, it's great. Same thing. You can find Shao now. There's a drop dash. Cool. But the Shadow Gen side, I really think, is one of the best things they've made in the series. It has actual, like, cinematics mid-level. Yes. Shadow's gameplay feels sick. His actual gameplay gimmicks are fun to go and restart levels and try. The open zone is an improvement of the ones in Frontiers. And literally the only flaw with the game, really, to me, is that it's not that long. Because, again, it's a side thing. But even then, if you 100% it, that still takes like 9 to 10 hours, really.
Yeah, it took me like
if you're going for
13.
Everything. Yeah. And
I was like all S.
I just think, man, from the story they made here, from Shadow being as cool as he is, from actual set pieces, bosses, level design is like the best it's been since Unleashed.
Yeah.
Like multiple
100%.
branching paths. Like the multiple.
They made a
branching
good
paths
Sonic
you could take
Forces
and
level.
everything.
That was unbelievable.
They
Sunset
did,
Heights was
yeah.
actually fun.
Like it's crazy to me because like I normally don't care that much about the 2D levels. I think Sunset Heights Act 2 is like I like it more than Act 1. And it might be one of my favorite levels in the game. Like that, it's so good.
Yeah, it's the game. It's so good that it made me realize that, oh shit, my issue isn't 2D levels in 3D Sonic games. It's that they just were not.
Yeah, they were not making
great.
good ones.
It's like this one is such a. The 2D levels in here are such a step up. They feel like genuine 2.5D levels where there's dynamic cameras. Like there's moments where it's going, you're flying on the Eagle in a 2D level to a 3D camera, and then you're doing that in Kingdom Valley. You're going through the wind tunnels, everything. Like it's so good. I couldn't believe, I said this when I beat the game on stream. I was like, I cannot believe Sonic Team made this. I almost deadass couldn't believe it. This feels like the type of game we would have gotten in like 2 more games.
The thing for me that really kind of sells that point is just how polished everything is in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
How well presented everything is. Like coming off of Frontiers, obviously I can forgive aspects of Frontiers because it was one of the most ambitious things that they've done in quite some time. But having a much more kind of condensed, focused project such as this has allowed them to really bring their A game in terms of the overall spectacle of the game. I just think like so many moments, especially a lot of the scripted moments, which are usually not a good thing in these Sonic games, they're just really cool in this.
Yeah.
I also got to say, as somebody who, you know, I like Sonic. You know, we joke about it, and I like to clown on McDareth, but for the most part, I do actually really like Sonic. And I've said multiple times, I've always been more of a Sonic fan than a Mario fan. And I enjoyed Frontiers, and we talked about it, but I did not feel the same way about Frontiers as I feel about this. This, I feel, was like a classic, like me growing up playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for the first time type game. I loved, especially because I went in blind. Like I hadn't seen a lot of the trailers. I didn't know a lot of stuff that was in it.
That
like
was crazy.
Seeing so much, bro. Those
message
Sonic
is
Hero
crazy.
stuff, like with Metal Overlord and with the canyon level, was incredible. I thought the challenge levels were also really good. That one in Kingdom Valley, I kept dying on constantly with like the crushing walls that you're chasing on. I kept dying on that one. Yeah, in 2D.
And then the hard
but
mode
I
of
feel
that
like
stage is crazy.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Yeah, but I feel like for the most part, yeah, every level, like the ones that they decided to pull from, I thought were really good. The only thing that I didn't like in the entire game was the first level where you're flying, the first Radical Highway level, Radical Highway Act 1, I was not a fan of because I don't know if it was just that like I wasn't used to the flying at that point, and so when I was going through it, I was just like constantly flying under stuff, and I feel like the camera was catching, and it felt to me more like the Sonic that I expect of recent years, right?
See, because the arrows point you where to go in that, and the ring trails in the sky.
Yeah.
No, I know.
guess
I know the ring
because
trails do, but it's like, go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask Fidel, did you go back and do all the other stages with flying before you went to the last 2? Or did you
I
just go
didn't.
straight to the
I
last
did
two?
that after. I did that after. Because what I
Okay.
did actually was I went back to those last two stages without the wings, and those are crazy.
Yeah.
Doing those two without the
Oh,
wings
without
is
the
like
wings
a
is
whole.
probably fun though. I would enjoy that.
It's,
You could try. It's like a genuine challenge. Cause
yeah,
like,
it's actually pretty hard because there's some really hard platforming. They just expect you to use wings, but they made it so like you can play it without it. And some of the platforming is pretty, like you gotta actually experience it.
I really did. I thought the music was great too. Like that remix of All Hail Shadow that they have now is awesome.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I
I'm
thought,
just sad it wasn't a remix of What I Made Of. I like that's my favorite Crush 40 song. So I was a little sad they just did the original, but I really wanted that.
I also thought it was super funny. Again, like not having followed this game or like announcements about it, like with those Doom powers, is I thought the Chaos Spears were a funny way around him not having guns. Where it was like, we're going to have this thing where you multi-target and you're shooting things, but it's just not with the gun. And I enjoyed that. I thought that mechanic was actually really fun.
I think it's amazing.
Like holding,
I honestly think
it's
they should
really,
keep that.
really fun.
Yeah, going forward.
I think it's so cool to have a game where each of the mechanics, especially like I would say Chaos Control, the Doom Spears, and I guess what would be the main one? I guess the wings making their own level, like they're useful. And I feel Chaos Control is especially one that is crazy fun to master when you're doing speedruns.
Sure. Yeah, it's all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And what's crazy about it is like you can, when you speedrun, your first thought is, okay, time is stopped. I'm going to run through as fast as possible. But no, when time is frozen, you still want to kill enemies in your way because then when the Chaos Control finishes, the meter goes up.
Right.
And so there's like a sick strategy with being able to meter manage the Chaos Control of, do you want to just go crazy fast as possible? Do you want to kill more enemies so you get multiple Chaos Controls? Like there's such a good balance there. And the only thing I would say, like separating, I feel like they could have found a way to separate, like to unify Doom Surf and Doom Morph because they're both sort of like liquid-based abilities.
That whole Doom Morph thing was so funny because
Yeah,
I
think
agree.
Doom Morph
That's
is
my
the-
hands down my
that
least
main
favorite
low
one.
point is Doom
Because
Morph.
at first, when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, this is like for the Splatoon audience, like he's just turning into a squid. But then as you actually start playing, like in that final boss where you're swinging around and he goes, reach. I was like, all right, I'm ready to be done with this now.
Especially when you're trying to S rank that boss, and literally to get the
Very
S rank,
finicky.
you have to perfect the Doom Morph section. If you mess up once, you're not getting S. Like it's pretty annoying.
Yeah, thankfully, like when I was playing, chat like gave me the tips because the way it really works is it's when you get it, it's not that hard. The game doesn't explain it, so it's like
Yeah, you're supposed to swing under and then you launch up. But let me tell you, when you do I didn't say it. When you do one of the bosses on hard, I caught myself. When you do one of those bosses on hard, it people don't know. When you do one of the bosses on hard, it doesn't work. It doesn't work the way it's supposed to because like the orb that's in the air, they just spawn less on hard. The orb that's in the air, you're supposed to be able to swing under and go up. Doesn't let you. So,
well, the tech you do is when you're in that Doom mode, when you're on the tilted platform, if you press R2 at the end of that, he goes flying.
Yes.
And so it gets
I was
easier to
doing
just
that.
get to the next one.
Bro,
I was doing that, but it wasn't going
up,
high enough. And then it's just like I just have to hope I launch onto this and hit the next one and I can get it.
Yeah. The one that annoyed me the most was the Mephiles fight because when you're going up that like the what's it called, like the towers or whatever, and you have to like swirl your way up. Bro,
really
I hated that.
That one was in the trailer.
That one definitely annoyed me. But I feel like that it was still cool because of seeing the character and the music was cool and stuff too. But the actual mechanic of that fight was rough.
I get it. And like I just love that they have the mid-fight cinematics. Yeah, dude, it was
Roger
cool.
Roger already blew it. Go nuts.
Well, he had like the clones and everything. I thought was sick.
Yeah.
Wait, blew it? What do you mean?
I was trying not to say his name because if you didn't watch trailers, you wouldn't know.
Oh,
I feel like,
I didn't watch trailers, but I assume most of you did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're fine.
It's so cool because like it's the only fight in the game where like to get to it, you go to like a creepy ass cave that's like secluded from everything.
From
the
everything
music
else.
changes and everything, and then like even the wait. Okay, so I'm definitely. So we're gonna have a spoiler discussion and talk about all this stuff more in depth. I mean, it's not much to spoil. We'll just have a full discussion about it more than we can do here. But I want to talk about this part because I thought this was like, I love the way these characters are written. Thank you, Ian Flynn. Because like the Mephiles part, Mephiles pops up and then he starts talking to Shadow about, yeah, I'm gonna exist and all this stuff. And Shadow's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, because the way Sonic 06 ends is they go back and make so Iblis doesn't exist, so Mephiles doesn't exist. So the whole point of that fight is he just wants to exist, period. This is a one point in time where he's back in the timeline and exists, and he's fighting for his existence, but Shadow doesn't remember him. And so Shadow's talking that way, and just like the way
he's like, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah, it's so good. Like that fight and the way it's written is just so good in the context of what happens in it. And then like in the game, if you go and watch, or if you go and collect all the stuff, when you read the Sonic 06 bit, they tell you that in the way it ends is Iblis was erased. So if you didn't know, the game itself tells you what happened in that game, so you could know for what's going on with this.
Yeah,
it's good. They like explain
honestly it's kind of tragic for Mephiles in that regard.
It is. Well,
I want to live,
out,
bro. That's it.
Yeah, someone pointed out that all the bosses are technically a variation of Shadow, which is kind of really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Metal Overlord,
awesome.
True, Biolizard, yeah.
It just, and I just felt like, I don't know. Like I said, we'll save a lot more for spoiler cast talk, but Shadow, I mean, they did him incredible justice. I feel like the way they wrote him was so good.
Sick.
Yeah,
he is, dude. They made him raw as fuck, and they made the story depressing as hell. Like
they did.
To me,
yes.
To me, that's a sad ending. That's not a winning ending. I didn't feel like, let's go, we saved the day at the end. I was like, holy shit, we lost here, you know. And it sucks. And like, obviously, like I said, I don't want to spoil it, but it's like they did such a good job with, even, I gotta say, just cinematics, because like the biggest flaw with Frontiers was when you get to a story moment, unless it's like the Titan fight, or like the end of an island or beginning of it, all the moments you talk to characters, you're just kind of standing in place. Whereas here, like, you were getting dynamic camera angles, you were getting like action moments in the set pieces. Shadow himself, he emotes so differently. Like when he's angry, you see him like visibly shaking, which is like so cool. Pupils dilating when he's scared. Like all this stuff that just, the production value just felt over the top, you know?
Also, just again, the choice of levels. I feel like having Chaos Island be part of this was so cool. I did not think there was going to be anything Sonic Frontiers in this at all, let alone like a full dedicated level from it. And I loved that. I thought both of those acts were actually really, really fun.
Yeah, no, it is.
I think the only reason they picked Chaos is because of the Force's Death Egg robot is on Chaos.
Yeah,
so
right.
To tie it in.
It was probably also a thing of they were like, well, we have the assets for this engine.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's
all there.
Yeah,
For sure.
Just put them in. For sure.
Yeah.
I think around the time really cool. Chaos is like, you can go there to that island. If you go talk to Gerald, he actually mentions to Shadow. So he's like talking to Shadow, and he says like, "Oh, you're going to places and fighting people you haven't seen before." Well, time is not. Yeah. I'm guessing this thing is pulling from probably your future and all these things like that. Because technically, Forces and Frontiers have not happened.
Sure, they haven't happened yet. Right.
It's it's. I genuinely think it's so fun. The game has. The game actually solves the problem. I said this about Mario Wonder, and I said this about Astrobot, is I feel like I beat those games and I'm like, well, now the only thing I can do is just restart it, I guess. There's no post game. Whereas here, like, as soon as you get to the end, you have the Doom Wings, you can suddenly go back to every level and get a separate S rank with the Doom Wings.
I'm actually really glad you brought that up, because on the pre-show, I had mentioned that I just 100%, literally this morning, I just 100%ed Astrobot. I got my very last trophy, which was I had to do like the gacha machine thing. And that was kind of the thing that was annoying me, is that I had done everything in the game. I saved every one of the bots. I did the final challenge thing. I did everything. And then I still didn't have a platinum yet. And I'm like, what is there left to do other than like getting these gacha mechanics? And literally the only thing left to do at the end of that game is just to replay the levels again, and you don't have like any new feature. It's just literally replaying the levels again to get coins to then unlock the last gacha things to do that extra platinum. And whereas for this one, I feel like I would want to go back and try it with the new Doom powers. And I loved The open world area of this, like, I really
awesome.
enjoyed too. It's straight up Bowser's Fury. It is like
Yep,
Shadow
literally.
Generations Bowser's Fury, where you're
from the
sliding
water and
around.
everything.
Oh, and it really was a lot of fun. It really impressed me. I was very surprised by how much I liked this.
And
It
it's
feels
like,
a lot more kind of cohesive and connected compared to the Frontiers.
Oh, definitely.
Open
Yeah,
zone.
Yeah.
It's like
100%.
you still have all these like floating platforms and stuff, but they don't feel out of place or suspended like they do in Frontiers. Instead, it all feels quite naturally tied together. And I think it's just because there are a lot of actual structures all over the place, like actual buildings and just towers, just things that make it feel sort of alive in that sense.
Now I'm curious because obviously I know again, the only thing I had seen about this going into it, other than the reveal trailer, was I saw the trailer for the Keanu Reeves Tokyo area, and I had assumed that was in the game. So when I got to the end, I was like, "Oh, I missed the Keanu Reeves Shadow
it's December.
version." No, but that's December, so that's DLC.
Around the one the movie comes out.
So then, okay, is the DLC just going to be that world, or is it going to be
As
like
far
maybe
as we
something from
know.
Shadow the Hedgehog or something too?
As
Because
far
there
as I
wasn't
know,
any Shadow the
that is
Hedgehog
that.
level.
Yeah,
No, that was the one
That's
disappointing.
surprising, actually.
Yeah,
Like there's the opening bit.
That
The
didn't
opening
even
bit has
cross
Black
my mind.
Doom,
That's true.
where it's like where it goes from Space Colony Arc, like the second half of that level.
It's Radical
is
Highway.
kind of like the opening.
No, it's Radical Highway. It's all.
Oh, that's
Black
meant to
Doom
also be
is
Radical Highway?
obsessed with Radical Highway. I don't know why, but every time he pops up, it's Radical Highway.
Because it's cool.
It is cool. But yeah,
That is weird then that we didn't get Shadow the Hedgehog.
Wasn't
It
that
is.
the
I
first
don't know
night
why.
Shadow was awake?
Which one? The
When
Yeah.
he was on Radical Highway.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
They,
yeah, yeah.
they
Wouldn't
pick
that
Radical
make sense
Highway
to-
because it's like literally the very first thing when you
His
first
beginning,
experience Shadow
sure.
is
Yeah.
Radical
It's his
Highway.
Green Hill Zone. Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
It's just the thing of I feel what we were saying about the Aether thing is like you said, it's like you finish it and you're done. Whereas like here you have that replay, and then even the game has the online mode where you can do leaderboard stuff. And I really do think more platformers should have just like a fun leaderboard mode, because it's fun to just have a reason to play a level again and try to beat others. Like it shows like your score compared to your friends on the online leaderboards. And I don't know, I feel like right now they're doing an Astrobot thing where like once a week they're adding a time attack level where that has leaderboards, but that's like one level. It should be like every level in the game has something. And I just would have liked something like that for those games. But like I said, for a game this short, having this much replay value, I mean, I feel like the $50 for this and Sonic Generations is probably like one of the best platformers you'll get. I mean, that's a crazy
deal.
deal.
There's a lot of good
they
stuff,
announced
yeah.
it sold 1 million in less than a day,
Yeah.
which is massive for Sonic because Frontiers did 2.5 million in a month. And so this doing 1 million in a day is crazy. It's probably, we're before Black Friday, we're before movie 3, where after movie 3 is going to be huge, right? People are going to be like, well, I need to go play some in Shadow or something.
I mean,
And they're
that's
just gonna
clearly
go buy
why
that.
they did this game
Of course.
this year, is they
Yeah.
wanted something Shadow for that.
Which
I
they've
also
said.
think they're starting to realize too that people just genuinely really love Shadow. Like people love Shadow, and I think they were maybe burned on Shadow the Hedgehog before. Where they were kind of hesitant to make its own game, but like, no, man, you just make a good Shadow game. People are going to come out in droves.
I'll tell you, it's not even just Shadow. People like a majority of Sonic's friends. It's just they haven't used them in ages.
Yeah.
So it's like
Tails,
now we're
Knuckles, and Amy, for
seeing
sure.
them go back to actually using these other characters.
I feel like Tails, Knuckles, and Amy at least like get a lot of love with stuff like not Mania Plus,
Yeah,
but
they're in,
like,
like, the 2D
Origins
games.
and the 2D games and stuff.
But in all those games,
Shadow
it's
and
it's
Rouge, I
very
mean,
different
even
from this.
Rouge being prevalent in this one, I thought was cool. That she was in a lot of this, right? It was great.
Yeah, I think
I don't mean this as like a slight in any way, but like I feel like a lot of people love Shadow because he's one of the characters that has like, again, I don't mean this as a slight because I don't know how else to say it, but like has like depth. Like he has like a backstory. He has like
for sure.
abilities.
No, I definitely agree.
Sonic's just like blue and goes really fast. Like Shadow's got like a backstory. He's got like, a family essentially. He's got all of this lore tied to him. He's got like actual abilities that isn't just like turning yellow and flying. Like there's a lot to him. And not knocking like other characters or like Sonic.
No, you're right. No, you're right. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Shadow, maybe you could argue another character, but I really do think Shadow is one of the few characters where he can get his own game and it can sell as well as a Sonic game.
Oh,
As opposed
110%
to
for
like,
sure.
I think any of other Sonic's friends would like would feel like a fun spin-off game, but Shadow I really think is as popular as Sonic to the point where again he can sell his own game.
Yeah,
Only
for sure.
Shadow can do that. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah, we're not getting Silver the Hedgehog anytime soon. I don't think so.
You're gonna get hate mail from the Silver.
Which is honestly kind of a shame because Silver hasn't really had an opportunity to do anything since 06.
Yeah.
Isn't Silver in Generations?
Yes,
there,
but he's a plot device,
a
pretty
boss.
much. They just bring him up because something bad is going to happen. You must stop it, and then Silver's just around. That was the same thing in Forces.
Or Silver. Because what is his story? Not to get into like lore stuff, because I know Zeph talked about like Black Doom being Shadow's dad and stuff in that video. But like, is Silver like a future child of Sonic?
No.
So what is he?
He's just so we don't know who his parents are. We don't know who he's related to. He is just from the future period, and he got tricked in 06 into believing that Sonic is the reason that his future goes bad. But then after he comes back and
Pretty sure
realizes
his
that's
backstory was like heavily retconned.
yes, pretty much because
Ways.
06 got erased. So anything that happens, the big threat in 06 doesn't exist. We just know Silver is from the future. We don't know that much about him because we never, besides Crisis City in 06, you never go to his future.
But if he never, so he's from the future, but that future doesn't exist. So he's just kind of like
No.
How
The
does he
future,
exist in the other games,
okay.
then?
So the future exists. Silver still exists. Iblis, the catalyst for the destruction of the future,
Right.
is gone. But Silver still exists. He's still there. It's like they definitely try to do a Trunks thing because like I said in Forces, he comes back because Forces happened and Eggman won. So Silver comes back to try to prevent that and like warn them that something's about to happen.
So
and
he's
fights
like
with them.
he comes in when things are looking bad.
Yes. So if something goes
To
really
prevent the
bad,
future. Yeah.
he'll come back try to
shows up.
prevent it, or he'll show up for a racing event, so stuff like that. Because Team Sonic Racing is actually canon.
Well, he's in the Olympics games too.
Yeah,
They
those
put him in
aren't
everything.
canon though. But Team Sonic
They
Racing.
also
It's not,
clearly
it's
wanted
not
him to
canon that
be-
they went to the Olympics.
No.
They clearly
Why?
wanted him to be like the big next thing next to Shadow because I think he's the only other one that went super.
Yep.
And then
Wait.
they never used him again.
Why aren't the Olympics canon though?
Because it's a spin-off with Mario. It's not canon.
But it should be canon because like Smash is canon.
But what?
Smash Brothers is canon. It's a canon Nintendo franchise. Like Sonic.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like
but
the
within
Mario
within the Sonic world, Smash is not canon.
What? But I thought that was the whole thing. Is that every Sonic thing is canon? Wasn't that the whole?
It is not, because I can tell you, Sonic Chronicles is not canon. As much as I want it to be.
Wait. No, am I having a stroke? I could have sworn we had a conversation. I'm not trolling. I promise, I'm not trolling.
I know you're not.
I thought we had a conversation on a previous Japan Time about a news story where Sonic Team was like, "We're gonna make everything canon. Everything that has existed."
They did,
is canon now.
except the Olympic Games, Sonic Chronicles. Everything
They
else.
specifically called out the Olympics and Sonic Chronicles.
No, they never called them out. That's the issue. Everything else has been referenced,
oh.
has been shown up. Like even
I
Sonic
see.
Battle, which was up in the air. Emerald's in the
Emerald's-
promotion
yeah,
for this
sure.
stuff. There's
Sure.
Sonic Battle Art of Shadow that you can find in this game. Like those games, like all those at this point have been referenced in Frontiers or this game. Like I said the thing about Team Sonic Racing because literally there is a thing in Frontiers where it's an Eggman little thing where he's like talking about stuff and he talks about the Tanuki, who's
The
like
race,
the
yeah.
who they set up the race, and that's like, oh, so Team Sonic Racing actually happened.
Weird. Okay.
But it's like Olympics and Sonic Chronicles have never been referenced, so those two are like not considered canon.
Huh. All right. The more you know. Team Sonic Racing, and I'm sorry, I'm just my mind is.
Yep. Team
Doesn't make
Sonic
any
Racing
sense.
is a canon that happened.
All right. Well, you know what else happened?
Oh
This
my God.
podcast.
Are y'all done sucking off this game, bro?
Podcast, man. That's what happened. We had a
Holy
nice,
shit.
long,
We made it.
chunky
We made it. We
podcast.
made it.
We made it to the ending. Thank you all for listening. Shofu, is there any game that you would like to speak on? Because I know We were talking about Mario Party a little bit. I know you played Mario Party, but I know you didn't play Metaphor or Sonic. So any other thing you want to talk about? Since we don't have a game show to end this week, I want to leave the floor to you.
I have a game show.
And give the final word.
I have a game show, bro.
I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's do it then. Let's go. I'm ready.
This is the Black People quiz. All right.
All right. I'm ready.
This is exclusively for Roger. Right?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
See how many questions you get right, bro.
This is, to be fair, I tied, if you remember a couple years ago, I tied with Inferno Omni for Did You Know Black People on EE Stream. I did quite well.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So this is round 2 then.
This is round 2 of Did You Know Black People. I'm ready. Okay, let's go.
All right. Question number 1. Let me
Okay.
get some background music.
Background music.
Okay, hold on. Do I have something?
Yeah, you play me something. Give me something good, man. Nobody else answered till Roger does.
I have to answer all of these.
Yes.
Wait, real fast.
All right.
Oh, never mind,
There we go.
Oh no.
Question number 1.
Okay.
True or false?
Uh-huh.
Black people eat at potlucks. You know
Everybody
what
eats at
potluck is, right?
potlucks. Of course, that's true.
Everybody eats at potlucks. The answer is false.
Oh my god.
What?
Ain't no black person eat at no fucking potluck.
Roger?
What are you talking about?
You're thinking
Ricky.
of cookout.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A cookout is a potluck.
No, it's not.
Stuff.
A
Yes,
cookout?
it is.
No.
Take another point away from him.
Wait,
All right,
no.
All right.
He's negative 1.
Let me explain to you. Look, PK Sparks, you feel me, bro? Black people ain't eat at no fucking potluck. Bro, you got Sally from fucking fucking accounting bringing her raisin casserole. I'm not eating that bullshit. All right.
Hell no.
Yeah, potlucks are where
you got
you,
Mary
like-
over there bringing her unseasoned chicken. Hell no, I'm not eating that shit.
Those are where you talk about like my kids got into an expensive school.
Oh, you mean like when you have? I guess that is
A potluck
That's
is when
true.
everybody brings their own dish and you share.
That's
food
true.
and shit.
To be fair, I was just thinking cookouts. But you're right.
bro.
That's fine. That's my bad. I'll take that.
I've always in TV shows I've always seen them like it's always like
Where'd my theme
Yeah, you
music
bring
go?
some nasty stuff. Yeah, I don't. You don't want some nasty stuff.
When you ask the next question, I'll put it back up.
I think he's waiting.
Okay, next question.
All right,
Uh-huh.
next one.
I'm ready.
If a black person tells you they're 15 minutes away, when will you see them?
2 hours. 2 hours.
Okay, that's a little too long, but it's an acceptable answer.
That might be racist.
It's based on experience with Shofu. It's maximum 2 hours if it's 15 minutes. Yes, that's true.
There's also
I've heard
layers to
stories
it.
about Shofu.
It depends. It depends in part as well on the black person's heritage. They're Caribbean. You can expect it to be 3.
Oh, Viram would be there on time, guaranteed. That's true.
What the fuck, bro? I get everywhere on time if I need to be there on time, bro. What are you talking about? What?
But if it's a if it's a
Anyway, next
commitment-
question. Let's go. I got that one.
All
Next
right.
question. Let's go.
Anyways,
This is crazy, bro. All right. Finish the phrase.
Uh-huh.
I'm sick and tired.
Of this bullshit.
No, bro. What the
come
fuck?
on, Roger. You had that one.
What
Roger,
the
you had
fuck?
that one.
What the
It's,
I'm
it's a
sick
Negro
and tired
story.
of
bullshit.
being sick and tired,
Sick
bro.
and tired.
Come on, dog.
I've never even heard that in my life.
What?
Yes, you have.
I've known
You're
you for a
around us
decade.
all the time.
I've known you for a decade. We've done this show for a decade. I've never
I'm
once,
sick and
I've
tired
never
of being
once
sick
heard
and
you,
tired.
heard Ricky, heard Viram, heard McDareth, heard Zeph ever say I'm
not
sick and
black.
tired of being sick and tired. We don't know that, Zeph. We don't know that.
Holy shit.
All right, keep it up.
Okay.
Let's keep going. This is fun.
Let's get out of here.
Jesus Christ.
Two more.
All right.
That's the yeah.
If a black person says, keep
Uh.
doing what you're doing, keep it up, what should you do after that?
I'll let-
The song's running out.
No, I would stop.
There you go. That's the right
Okay.
answer.
All right, he got that one.
I would stop. That's also from experience. So,
Shofu, you can't say it. You saying it with that tone was like a trick question.
No. But I'm laughing because I've been there, so I understand. Yes, you just
Keep it up,
stop.
bro.
That's fine.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
All right, here we go.
Okay. As a black person, if you get invited to a party, what is the first question you ask in response?
Are you bringing anything?
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
What? Wait, gee, what? Try again. Hold on. Try again. You can't go out like that. What's your real answer,
All right.
Roger?
Mulligan.
Okay, with the real answer, if you get invited to a party and what's the question, is what my question is like, what would you say in response?
If a black person.
Like who's going?
I don't know. Yes, if a black person is asked to go to a party or any event, the first question they ask is, "Who all gonna be over there?"
Okay. All right, that's fair.
Where the hoes at?
I understand.
Something
Okay,
like
I
that,
misunderstood,
bro.
but I mean, I got there then. I didn't. I thought you were asking something else. But okay. But yeah. So yeah, who's going? So that's fair.
Wait, who doesn't ask that?
That's 3 out of 5. I feel like everybody says that. That is also a weird thing. I don't think it's just black people that say who's going. If I'm going to invite you to a place,
bro.
I'm definitely going to say who's going. I want to know.
Hey, man.
I don't want to just randomly pull up at something and like somebody shows up that I don't like. I don't want to deal with that. I barely leave my house. Well, that's not true. That's literally a lie. I was just in Japan and Hawaii. I don't even know why I said that. But I do leave my house, but I don't leave my house to go hang out with people. If people hang out with me, they have to come to my house. Right, that too. But I mean, no. But what I'm saying is that like people have to come to my house to see me most of the time because I don't like to leave because I usually have stuff to do.
All right, next question, man. It's not even.
I won. I got 3 out of 5. I'm done.
No,
I won.
There's more.
I don't want to. This is a bonus. This is bonus round. Fine.
Cue the music.
This is bonus round. I already passed.
This is a college class. This
Finish
is
the phrase. God is great, or God is good. Excuse me. Finish the phrase. God is good.
You just said God is great.
No, that's not the answer. That's not the answer.
God is good?
Yes, that's not the answer. God is great is not the answer. Finish the phrase. God is good.
Can he phone a friend?
He can phone a friend, bro.
Fine, McDarrett.
McDarrett is also black, by the way, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
What's up? God is good all the time?
Yeah, all the time.
God is good all the time, bro.
And all the time?
There we go.
God is good.
All is good.
There we go.
All right, last question.
Let's hear it.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, like 3 last questions.
This is good.
This is the last one.
These are all bonuses, so it's fine. I already passed.
Name a Kool-Aid flavor.
Oh, I mean, there's plenty of them. Which one do you want?
Name
There's
a
only
Kool-Aid
one.
flavor.
Ecto.
What?
What?
Huh?
Ecto.
Wait,
What
say?
the fuck are you saying?
Are you casting a
That
curse?
timing of the music stopping combined with Shofu speaking was immaculate.
I heard the record scratch in my head.
What?
Name a Kool-Aid flavor.
I just did. I literally just said Ecto.
What the fuck is that, bro?
Then clearly you don't know Kool-Aid flavors. That's it. That's
What?
fine.
The
You should
answer
give me
I
a
was
Kool-Aid flavor.
What is Ecto? What is Ecto?
Ecto is the Ecto Cooler. It's like Ghostbusters.
Okay,
Bro,
either way, that's
what
the wrong
color
fucking
is it?
answer because we're looking for red, purple. I know.
you like color.
There's no name. There's no names.
You want? No, but there are. There's like Tropical Punch is one of them.
Yes,
No, that's red.
I think you
Hey,
mean red.
Come on.
That's red.
No, but it's called Tropical Punch.
No,
Yes.
it's not.
No.
Yes, it
You gotta
is. What
remember.
are you
No.
talking about?
Roger,
This is for
remember the quiz
This
that
is-
you're
this is-
answering for.
You forgot you're on a game show, buddy.
That's what
I
I'm
guess
saying.
that's true.
You really the answer I was looking for is red, purple, anything along those lines. Blue, whatever the fuck.
But purple drink is a different thing. That's not Kool-Aid.
What are you talking
A
about?
purple drink is a
That's what I'm
purple
talking
drink.
about. Purple drink is a different thing.
What's
Hell
in your
nah.
cup?
Hell nah.
But that's what
Purple's
I'm
purple.
saying.
It ain't more complex.
Listen,
It's
bro.
a little bit of the.
You thinking too hard. You're thinking
No,
too
I'm not. I'm
hard.
not
Yes,
thinking
you
too
are.
hard.
Yes, you
No,
are.
I'm
Yes,
not.
you are.
Ricky, you know what I'm talking
You
about.
are thinking
when you
too
get
hard.
that purple
I know
drink,
what
you
you're
gotta-
talking about, but
you get a little bit of that lead going. You know what I'm saying?
No,
That's
you
a
put
different
that-
thing.
What the fuck? Hell
You
no.
put
That's
that
what
in the
Pesso's
purple
getting.
drink.
Shofu, a cup of the walk. That's not what we're talking about.
When we describe Kool-Aid, we say red Kool-Aid or purple Kool-Aid. We don't talk. What the fuck are you talking about?
Tropical Punch is red Kool-Aid.
Nobody says tropical punch. They just say red. That's what I'm saying.
It's literally okay.
Now you're done.
Can I slide in with a bonus question? Can I slide in with a bonus question?
Yes,
Slide in with the
absolutely.
bonus question.
Of course.
All right. If you're going to a party hosted by black people, name 3 types of food that you will see there.
Collard greens, 100%, 110% collard greens, guaranteed.
This is almost a trick question.
This is not a trick question because I'm not going to answer the 2 things that you're going to want me to answer. So I'm going to say collard greens is one. One of them I would say is biscuits, absolutely, and they cannot be dry. So I would say biscuits would be another one. And then mashed potatoes, absolutely.
Okay. I'll accept all of those.
Thank you.
That's kind of valid. That's kind
It is 100% valid. What the hell?
You got the Kool-Aid question so incredibly wrong, like horrendously wrong. I think you just
Like it actually sounds like a Harry Potter spell, bro.
What the fuck is Ecto, bro?
Bro, look up Ecto Cooler before we end this. Hold on.
Ecto
Cooler. It is. Hold on. Ecto Cooler. You'll see it. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Is this some
They had a
limited
high
time
C
shit
and they
in
had a Kool-Aid.
2004?
Yes. It was.
this?
I grew up with this shit. It was high C and
Is
it was
this
Kool-Aid.
real?
Yes, it's real. What? I'm not making up some
Kool-Aid
random thing.
Ecto.
Ecto Cooler. This is look up Ecto.
This is not Kool-Aid.
No, that's what I just said, War Champ. This is why you're Charmy the Bee, bro. Because you're not listening. I said it was high C and Kool-Aid. There were 2 of them, and I grew up with the Ecto flavor Kool-Aid.
Yeah, the answer is
Okay, but just know, any black person not answering that question with all that bullshit you just said.
It's red or purple. That's fair. That's fair.
Or any other color.
Do you guys remember? I think we're all the right age. You guys remember the like blue and purple ketchup?
Yes.
Oh, that stuff was disgusting. Oh my
That
god.
shit was fucked up.
No, they gotta bring that back. No, they gotta bring that back.
Green ketchup is insane.
I think they did it for mustard too, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was a fun quiz. Thank you, Shofu. That was a lot of fun. I feel like I learned a lot and also proved that I knew some stuff, which is pretty nice.
PK Sparks in the chat asked me to ask you what R&B stands for.
Rhythm and blues, baby. Come on.
Hey, hold on, bro.
What are you doing? Get out of here.
Okay,
I just remember.
episode of Japan Time. Can we get the fuck out of here? It's almost. I gotta go to sleep.
right.
You
All right,
motherfuckers
we'll
are
go,
taking too long with this bit.
You gotta go
The
to
bit
sleep.
is over.
We'll go.
Shofu,
You
get
gotta
us
go
out of
to
here,
sleep.
please.
Oh, me
For
too.
heaven's sake.
Spitbase.com/Japan Time. Make sure to get your goods. Spitbase.com. Buy our merch. Buy our merch. Buy our merch. Praise God.
For
Praise God.
Sonic-
God is good.
Sona
God
poster
is good.
coming.
And what? God is good.
All the
All the
time.
time.
All
And
the
all the
time.
time.
God
All
is
the
good.
time.
Is
God is good. Good
Why
night,
did we
everybody.
end it like that? Holy fuck!
That is.
Was that a fucking Christmas special?
He got
That's the
fuck
Halloween
out of here.
special. Happy Halloween, everybody.